Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Believe it or not, it still is a great day to be alive on this Monday. It is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. My name is Ben Brust. Alongside me is the Packer backer that is going to cope but find a way to believe that this team will win against Philadelphia. His name is Kyle Wallace.
Hey, yeah, KBN Nation, keep hope alive. That's what this is all about. That's why I got on my Packer stuff, so make sure you go to YouTube. You can see I'm representing the Green Bay Packers because I still believe.
Brad Nortman back from an 8-year vacation. What's going on, Bradley?
I'm back, baby. I am back. I am rested. I'm feeling good. I'm ready for a postseason push. Not sure how long it's going to last, but I'm ready for it.
Tush push?
Tush push. It might be a lot of tush pushing.
Alex Strofe running the show. UKBN Nation at the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776. Liz is more, and as always, you can watch us and interact with us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. I'd like to preface this. The phone lines are for you. 800-990-3776. Just an atrocity yesterday on all accounts, from potential injuries to Jordan Love getting hit in the funny bone, it seems, and Malik Willis coming in and Christian Watson going out, and then Josh Jacobs playing and then being taken out into the second half of clock management, and the game actually mattered, but then simultaneously the Commanders game was going on and they won, so it made it all moot. Just a weird Sunday for the Green Bay Packers, and one that does not make you feel optimistic going to Philadelphia. 800-990-3776. What made you most upset in yesterday's loss? I'll start with whoever wants to take the ball. Brad, who's been on vacation, or Kyle, who's coping and justifying why they're going to be okay.
I'll let Brad get some stuff off his chest since he's been gone all year.
Thank you. It feels like it's been too long, so KBN Nation, it is good to be back. And let me tell you what. It felt like there was no plan whatsoever yesterday. That is what upset me the most. If you're the Green Bay Packers, if you're Matt LaFleur, if you are already clinched a playoff berth and you're just thinking about seeding at this point, how exactly we're going to approach this game? Are we going to go all in? Are we going to try to beat our rival, go all in, do everything we can to get the 6th seed, and that is the plan? Or are we going to pull like a Kansas City Chiefs did yesterday, where basically no starters played and they got blown out, but that all went according to plan? It seemed like from a macro level that way, or a micro level, like Matt LaFleur messing up the end of game timeout situation to give the Bears more time to go then hit the game-winning field goal. It felt like there was no semblance of a plan whatsoever. It made for a really sloppy game. Offense, defense, and special teams, lack of preparation. There's just a lack of understanding of what are we doing out here? Are we playing to win this game? Are we playing starters? Oh, we're going to play Josh Jacobs for a half. Now we're going to reel him back. Jordan Love goes in, gets hurt. There is this rotation of players that I couldn't tell if the Packers were trying to win or if they were just trying to come back. Are we trying to create momentum or rest? There was no plan when the start of the plan, and then that showed all the way through to the end of the game when Matt LaFleur called the timeout from start to finish. No plan, no semblance of a clear intention for this game.
The no plan thing, to me, is so right, because to me it was more reactive. And that has been the theme for Matt LaFleur recently, is it's very reactive, right? Like, what's the plan? What are we trying to accomplish here? Because when Jacob scored the touchdown, he didn't come back in the game. But that was after Love and Watson. It was like, okay, so he's playing still, even after those guys got hurt, but like then you take him out. Like, what was the point of even letting him like play to the point of him getting a touchdown if he wasn't going to continue to play the game? What is the plan, Matt? What is the plan? And I could go on for days when it goes to Matt LaFleur, and obviously we'll get to the late game situation. But what is the identity that he's been building for this team through 17 weeks? Can somebody tell me? Can somebody tell me?
And because then we'll hear from Kyle Wallace, the Packer fan, who I know is going to be impassioned about this. it came with a cost. Because if you are telling me you want to be like Dan Campbell and we're going to go out there and win no matter what, right? Not necessarily this season, but in prior years, games that don't, quote, matter, that doesn't exist for the Detroit Lions. We are going to win at all costs. So therefore, throw in Love out there, throw in Watson, maybe Josh Jacobs all game. I could understand that line of thinking. Maybe the line of thinking, though, is we know we've already clinched a playoff berth, so another win doesn't really help. I'd rather protect our guys than fully protect them.
Then say it and do it.
There was no distinctive, decisive route for Matt LaFleur, and there was collateral damage. ACL injury, bungled end of game. Jordan Love, he's going to play, it seems like, but it was just so much collateral damage because there was a lack of a plan.
Jason Wilde on Wilde and Tosh, we're going to get to this audio in a little bit. He did mention how if Romeo Doubs wasn't sick, Christian Watson may not have played. That in itself is crazy, but even within the broadcast of the game, when the sideline reporter was talking about Christian Watson in his availability for this game, he says he's good to go, but we're going to be careful how we use him. What the hell does that mean?
Well, for real.
What does that mean? I'm like, all right, so is he supposed to play hard? Are you going to get involved? Is he just a body? Is he out there? Why is he out there? He's coming off injury. I mean, that in itself continues to go to what Brad said. Kyle, we're just the crazy people, right?
No, I mean, let's be honest. Yesterday, what we saw was a team that lacked purpose, right? As fans, we talked about it last week on KBN, is that this game seemed to lack juice. There wasn't a lot of energy around this Bears versus Packers rivalry like we're so used to, especially when you look at the previous year, how we ended the season against the Chicago Bears, but this team had everything to play for. The Bears were playing to show that they were taking a next step and trying to knock off their arch rival, the Green Bay Packers, from going to the playoffs, and a young, up-and-coming Packers team was trying to fight their way into the playoffs. So last year, the game had a lot of juice. This year, as a fan, the game didn't have a lot of juice. We went so far to ask, would you even want to go to this game with how cold the weather was? And unfortunately, that feeling that we had as fans clearly translated to that locker room for that Green Bay Packer football team. It is completely unacceptable for that football team to come out flat the way they did, to play with zero passion and also play with absolutely no purpose yesterday. And you all kind of alluded to it, right? When you're going back and forth for whether or not guys are going to play or not, that just shows there was not a commitment in that locker room. There was not a commitment top down from Matt LaFleur to say, we're going to go out there and we are playing football to win a football game. That was not the case yesterday. The Green Bay Packers thought they could just find a way to sneak it out. We'll put Malik in there and we'll sneak it out. No, that's not the way that it works. So this right now, what this game falls on is the shoulders of Matt LaFleur of not having a purpose for his team this year. Or I shouldn't say this year, yesterday. And that's a failure of the Green Bay Packers as an organization not to go out and know exactly what the goal was yesterday. Because for dang sure it wasn't to win a football game.
800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talking text line. Jeff in the 920. When is Kyle going to wake up to the fact that this team could not win with Matty Mouse LaFleur in charge? You either play your starters or you don't half-ass it and have bad time management. Petey chimes in. The pressure's all on Love now. Time to earn that $55 million. You know, it's not a lot of people. There's a lot of paychecks to be earned heading into this Philadelphia Eagles game. Let's go to Ryan in Madison. 800-990-3776. You're on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys. Kyle, congratulations on winning your bet. Benny, I was rubbing your beads the entire game. I think that's why the Bears won. And I'm not here to start no trouble. I'm just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle, and I'm out.
All right, see you later. Dump him next time. Did you screen that, Strofe? Did you screen that?
He tricked me. He said he started talking about money.
I mean, he's not wrong because the Bears beat the Packers. Kyle wins money on the Packers winning 11 games, but that better feel dirty for you.
No, I don't feel dirty. It should feel dirty the way the Green Bay Packers lost that football game.
You know what?
We lost
Good
to the
answer.
dang Bears. We lost to the Bears yesterday. Not only did we lose to the Chicago Bears, we had a game, what we thought was going to be a game-winning field goal with less than 60 seconds left, and we allowed for the Chicago Bears and Cairo Santos and their special teams to get redemption on them getting a field goal block. So this ain't on me. This is on them.
Well, I was already thinking about, man, the Packers have jumbled this game. There's no plan. Guys are playing poorly. There's injuries. You don't have your starting quarterback, starting running back. And as they were marching down the field at the end, I thought to myself, well. The Packers are going to win this game. They're going to win this game with a backup quarterback, backup running back, and eyes already looking to the playoffs. But sure enough, I mean, end of game situations, Matt LaFleur still shows he can't manage those scenarios that well. I will say, I mean, maybe to no surprise, but Bears fans just dancing on the grave. A PSA to Bears fans. isn't it at all watered down with the fact that Packers were actively pulling their guys out? The reaction from Bears fans still shocks me.
They're not dumb enough to realize, or they're not smart enough to realize.
They're pathetic.
I mean, if it were the other way around, like let's say it was the Packers in the mid-2000s, and Urlacher got hurt, and Peanut Tillman got hurt, and Matt Forte they were arresting. Like let's say all that, and the Packers beat the Bears. I don't think I would say, ho, 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 we did it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, wait a minute, this was basically a preseason game.
Here's the difference, is that you left something out. Is the Green Bay Packers haven't had a lot of losing seasons. If our season was basically over and we're cheering that, right? Usually when we played the Bears, we were playing for something. Like in the 2010-2011 season when we played them at the end of the year, we were playing for something. Unfortunately, yesterday, not unfortunately, it's just their life, the Bears never are playing for anything at the end of the year, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, they already planned their trip to Cancun, and Kyle, you've had a lot of vacation. You got your new airline pass. You could maybe party with them.
I'm not partying with Bears fans because I don't want that loser stench to ever touch my body. You're questionable being around you because as a child you were stupidly a Bears fan.
And I over the weekend was next to all that, you know.
You need to, what a sage. We need some sage around you.
I need a hazmat suit.
Yeah, we need to cleanse.
Don't go near me.
Yeah, for sure. But overall, I will say this. The Green Bay Packers yesterday did not look like the football team that we've seen all year. Because one thing that I took pride in is the fact that this team consistently showed fight every single game. Yesterday was the first time where I watched. And the defense, they were flying around there in the first half. But the offense, the guys just looked cold. They didn't look like they wanted to be there. And that's the most disappointing thing.
But I'm okay with that if the expectations were set. Like, you never want your team to be like whatever happens, happens. But if Matt LaFleur's perspective was, hey, we know this game has implications, but we are more confident in just starting Malik and Emmanuel Wilson, and we still feel as if our plan could beat the Bears, and we are going to sit Christian Watson, and we're going to let Malik Heath and Bo Melton and other guys get reps and still go for the win. I think this would be a more receptive day for fans.
You know what they should have did? I'm sorry, Brad, but really quickly, what the Packers should have did, they should have said exactly what you said. We're going to play Malik Willis. We're going to play Emmanuel Wilson. And you know what? We don't care what the result is because we believe in our team. If we got to go play against the Rams, bring them on. If we got to go to Philly, bring them on. We don't care what y'all got because it's about us. That would have been the thing that would have put some type of confidence in the team. Say, y'all, listen. We ain't going to put – it doesn't matter. I don't care who we play.
This was like hey, we're going to go out there with our guys, hopefully get up big, and then just be able to rest them. Because, like, we're still kind of searching for something, right? It was like we just came off a loss against the Vikings. We know we kind of need some juice, so we're going to play our guys to try and get juice. It backfired. Now we're being reactive, putting all these other guys in, and then having abysmal clock management at the end of the game led to this feeling of disgust about how this season ended, and then having to be reminded that you're 1-5 in the division and a fingertip away from being 0-6.
Yeah, and the whole idea of Matt LaFleur sitting starters, I'm surprised he didn't do it because what do we hear all preseason? Hey, we're going to sit our guys. We need them to rest. We want them to be there for the games that really matter, right? So I'm surprised he didn't take the same exact game plan that he uses then that he did now. I think he wanted to treat this game almost like a preseason game. He wanted the best of both worlds. He wanted his guys to play, get in rhythm, look good, feel momentum, but then also protect them and pull them out. I also think in the back of Matt LaFleur's brain, you know what's a stat that just gets like applauded when he enters the room? Matt LaFleur, 11-0 against the Chicago Bears. Never lost the Chicago Bears. Matt LaFleur, in January and December, his record, I think he wanted to preserve that to a certain degree, which is why he couldn't pull back everybody like as if what the Kansas City Chiefs did and stuff.
800-990-3776. Speaking of a stench, let's go to Jonathan Brust, who was with and kind of grouchy on Saturday. Jonathan, how are you?
I am doing well, gentlemen. How are you?
Just get to your point.
There was a lot of crickets yesterday.
No, I mean, I know I got
my point is, I don't know. I don't know what in the world Matt LaFleur was even thinking yesterday.
Oh, thanks, Brainiac.
58 seconds left. There was 39 seconds left on the play clock, and he calls a timeout.
All right, I ain't going to listen to a call from a Bears fan about time management. Have you seen the disaster that they were?
He knows what disaster look like.
Yeah, it takes one to know one.
And the thing is that when the fumble happened, and I believe it was Johnson, the running back, fullback from the Cowboys who was on the broadcast yesterday, he said, how can the Bears mess this up?
It was hilarious.
Exactly what happened. It's just like, oh, my goodness, it's about to happen. So Bears know what disasters look like, and that's exactly what the Green Bay Packers had at the end of the game. Everything that we saw that happened on the sideline and all the decisions that were made at the end of the game by Matt LaFleur was a complete train wreck and a complete disaster, and he has to be better moving forward.
800-990-ESPN on the Carb List talking text line. Jimmy in Verona, you're up.
What's going down today?
You sound a little bit too
Hey,
happy, Jimmy. You got to tell me who your
Bears
allegiance is.
I was at Green Bay.
Okay, good.
I was at that game yesterday. The Bears fans were so ridiculous. They were running around after the game, and some kids in pajamas, half naked, trying to start fights. I'm like, are you on meth or what? What do you got?
Wow. It may be.
Yeah, you never know.
That's delusional.
They got a lot of that weird.
Joe in the Boonies asks, a fluke play from 0-6 in the division. Who gets held accountable? Despite more wins than last year, I feel less confident. I'm hurt. Help me out here, guys. Well, there's only one person that will be able to help you out today, and I think it's Kyle Wallace. I don't know if I'm going to be much help.
I can tell you this right now. Yes, the Green Bay Packers went 1-5 in the division, and they were a fingertip away from going 0-6 in the division. But something we can hang our hats on is this. This black and blue division that we have of the NFC North is probably the best division in NFL football. The Green Bay Packers competed against some of the best teams in football this year as well. And look at this. They still won 11 games while losing 5 games in their division. So guess what?
That spin zone does not help at all.
We're okay. We've already played.
Okay's not good.
We still made the playoffs.
All right, I'm done with you.
This is as bad as you could potentially get, and you still made the playoffs and won 11 games.
Kyle's fake. This is real. Coming up next, Jason Wilde started the show with some, I don't want to say opinions, but some perspective on what this Green Bay Packer team has shown him over the 17 games. What are you most upset about in yesterday's loss? 800-990-3776. I can't tell you the last time I've heard of this fired up Jason Wilde. Jason Wilde with some strong audio from Wilde and Tausch earlier today across these stations. Next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Ben, I've been a fan of you since Scalzo and Brust was on the air. You kind of are like a Pat McAfee for the ESPN Milwaukee. You kind of revolutionized this channel and stuff.
Leo, I'm here for you, and I appreciate everything you say. We love you listening, and you can call in every day and say that. I won't get on
ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry.
Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two.
I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you too, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucs fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucs.com/tickets. That's Bucs.com/tickets.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There is no limit and no payments for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. If you already have a price quote, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
If you've been busy this past holiday season, then it's time to finally focus on you. And that's where Macy's comes in. Come and treat yourself to something great, like rejuvenating skincare routines from Lancome, Estee Lauder, Clinique, Shiseido, Kiehl's, and more of your favorites. With so many great deals at Macy's, you'll be able to pick up a new cleanser and a new serum and a new moisturizer now during our Deals for Great Skin event. So, what are you waiting for? Refresh your routine today at Macy's.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
K-Walk bringing the optimism on the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776. Yeah, yesterday did suck, but at the end of the day, if we go to Philadelphia and beat them, nobody will be talking about that anymore.
Come on, K-Walk.
The problem that I have with all of this is the if is growing bigger and bigger and bigger. Evidence to Jason Wilde on Wilde and Tausch. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. You can see us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Always open to interact with us there, as well as 800-990-ESPN. But on Wilde and Tausch this morning from 9 to noon across these very stations, Jason gave his perspective on where this team actually is.
Because the guys in the locker room are concerned about the way they're doing. When Rashawn Gary and Xavier McKinney take control of the post-game, whatever you call that, when LaFleur talks, and get after the team, that's not an indicator to me of it's okay, these guys suck, and we didn't really try that hard. It's not a big deal. This didn't move the needle. Especially when Xavier McKinney does it. Because Xavier McKinney has not done anything like that earlier in the season. Losing Christian Watson, when the head coach admits that if Romeo Doubs hadn't been sick, Christian Watson wouldn't have even played.
Blasphemy.
And then he does play, and then he tears his ACL. When the head coach, I don't think it's as egregious as Homer did last night, but bungles the use of the timeout late in the game and then has to admit that he lost the game to his players. When all those things happen against a putrid football team that had lost 10 in a row and whose quarterback threw a bunch of bubble screens and couldn't throw the ball down the field until they needed a game-winning field goal, I think there's more wrong than just, they just lost to the Bears. They were going to be the 6th seed anyway. There is something to the way they're playing. They lost 5 of their 6 games in the division. The last team to do that was the best 4-12 team in NFL history, the team you were on in 2005. Yeah.
They got 4 of their wins against the worst division in football, the AFC South. I'm not saying they can't beat the Eagles, but they are going to need a perfect performance. They are not as good as we thought they were. They just aren't.
Okay. That was Jason Wilde earlier today on Wilde and Tausch from 9 to noon. Catch him wherever you get your podcast or WisconsinOnDemand.com. But I feel as if Jason was doing a show with Mark Tauscher, similar to how Brad and I do a show with Kyle Wallace.
That Mark Tauscher,
and Mark Tauscher and Kyle Wallace are known to be the biggest toads and Packer backers, and everything's optimistic and everything's great. And Jason was like, Tausch, this is the reality. And that's what Brad and I try and do with Kyle. This is the reality. Do you believe that Jason is telling the reality?
No, Jason did exactly what he's excellent at doing. He is in the locker room. He's around this football team. He makes observations, and he tells us exactly what he observes from his opinion, right? And that is Jason's opinion. I think a lot of the stuff that he said was extremely valid based off what we have seen the entire season and based off what we have seen consistently from Matt LaFleur. And the word Matt LaFleur used in his post-game press conference was indecisive. And that has been a label of who he has been this entire year, and that's something that impacted his football team. He was indecisive when he decided to make a decision of what they were going to do this week, and the players felt it. Hearing that Rashawn Gary and Xavier McKinney lashed out at the football team after because they were disappointed in the performance, that again starts with the head coach. There was not one clear message that was sent to this team to start this week, and this is the end result. But I'm not going to allow for the fact that we understand who this football team is for us to think that there's no way they can win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Yes. Do they have to play their best football? Absolutely. And that's the goal that you should have, is to play your best football during the playoffs. But overall, what Jason said, a lot of that stuff is true, and I agree 100% with him. But that does not mean the season is over. That's not what it means. It means this team.
He said they can do it. It's just going to take a much better performance than we've seen the entire year from this team.
Not true.
Yeah.
What do you mean not true?
We've seen this team perform at a high
problems
level.
have not been fixed.
When has this team performed at a high level and won?
Against the Arizona Cardinals.
Not in the playoffs.
Okay, yes, we could say against playoff teams. Yeah, they didn't perform. But Seattle, I mean, they had games. Again, I knew this was going to happen. I said this weeks ago. I said there's nothing.
They're out of the playoffs too.
They haven't had a quality win.
I told y'all this was going to happen when they beat Seattle. I said there's nothing the Packers can do.
The truth.
There's nothing they can do. So you know what? Backs against the wall. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
So you're admit your house money phase right now.
No, we're back to that. We have to be back to that because what we have all seen from the entire football season, when you lose 5 games, 6 now, but 5 of the 6 of your losses came to the top 3 teams in your conference. That tells you are a cut below the other teams, which means the front runner mentality that we might have had going to the season, gone. The going to the NFC Championship game is the bare minimum for this team. That has to be gone. The reality is, if the Packers make it to the NFC Championship, that is a success for the playoffs. If the Packers make it to the Super Bowl, it is a miracle. If they win the Super Bowl, I'm in heaven.
I mean, it's a miracle if they get to the NFC Championship game, Kyle, to beat this team. It is more improbable that this team that has 11 wins and these guys that have taken a step forward with experience, that they beat Philadelphia than last year beating Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I felt better last year going into Dallas than I do this year going into Philadelphia. It's the same.
They built momentum into the playoffs last year. They had to win every game, the last 3 games, to get themselves into that 7 seed. They are in a completely different scenario where they've been in limbo of knowing they're going to make the playoffs essentially for the last 4 to 5 weeks. Then when you play the Vikings, doesn't go your way, and if you can see, you can look at the score and do the Kyle Wallace and say, well, we fought back and prevent defense. Or you can be real with yourself and listen and see what you saw yesterday, as Jason said, against a putrid Chicago Bears team, and look at all the things from the lack of plan that Brad Nortman mentioned earlier in the show, to the execution late game, to the mismanagement of the entire situation.
I'll tell you what, too. I'm going to ask Jason about this when he joins us later in the show. But he's talking about Xavier McKinney and Rashawn Gary taking over the post-game conference, press conference that Coach LaFleur has with his teams. It's not as big of a deal as like a players-only meeting and how much that can sound the alarms for issues going on. But if I'm getting 2 veteran starters, 2 Pro Bowlers, basically feel the need to be vocal, to wake everybody up, to say, hold on, Matt LaFleur, Coach LaFleur, let me say something. If I'm a player in that locker room, I'm saying, oh my gosh, the wheels are falling off a little bit. That smells of panic. That smells of desperation. I didn't think it had gotten to that point. That's what usually happens on I guess they did lose a couple of games. A multiple game losing streak, when confidence is being lost in the locker room. Those guys felt the need to say something in that moment. That's pretty extreme to me. That concerns me that those guys felt like they needed to say something post game.
800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line. Lists is more. B Beads in Milwaukee. Go ahead.
Ben in the studio. I guess I'll attack you today. Who is, in your opinion, the best team in the NFC?
It is the Detroit Lions.
How much did we lose to Detroit in 2 games by?
We're not doing this. There's multiple games in a season outside of just the time you play one team.
They were
you have
clearly
a
the better
full
team.
body
Right.
of work that they have won 15 games and you have won 11. It's not close. And what happened last night, I actually want to get to next. Sunday Night Football showed me even more as to how far away the Packers are from actually competing, where the teams further up in the NFC North are than them. I'm sure Kyle will disagree, or maybe he'll get some sense knocked in with all this wisdom I have. What happened last night in the Lions-Vikings game showed me how far away Matt LaFleur and this team are from competing if they don't get connected in the right way. I'll tell you why next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
I'm about being young, wild, and free.
No, you're not.
You're
not young, wild, and free.
Yeah, I am young.
You're not that.
I am
Every time I ask you to do
Wild.
something, I check with a girlfriend.
Wait, why you taking why you going personal? Why you gotta talk about business? I can still be free with a lady.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Wintrust. Get your Golden Eagles essentials by opening Marquette checking from Wintrust today.
Number 8 Marquette used a 26-3 run between the end of the first half and beginning of the second to down Creighton 79-71 at Fiserv Forum. Senior guard Cam Jones scored 15 of his 22 points in the second half to go along with 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. His 7th game this season with 12-plus points, 5-plus assists, and 5-plus rebounds.
Back out Cam Jones. Open three, you bet. Oh, baby.
Oh, I thought he had a layup. It was a good find there.
Welcome back, Cam Jones. We missed you.
Senior guard Stevie Mitchell finished with 18 points, 14 coming in the first half, along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. His 4th straight game scoring in double digits. The Golden Eagles moved to 13-2 overall and 4-0 in Big East play. They stay home to host Georgetown Tuesday night.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, and the official bank of Marquette University.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. Number 8 Marquette used a 26-3 run between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half to down Creighton 79-71 at Fiserv Forum. Senior guard Stevie Mitchell finished with 18 points, 14 coming in the first half, along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists.
Step back three is off the side of the backboard. Comes to Stevie Mitchell. He scores as it angled right to him. He makes about a 6-footer. Crazy follow.
The Golden Eagles moved to 13-2 overall and 4-0 in Big East play. They host Georgetown Tuesday night.
For your fellow fanatics and your number one fans, for your game day compatriots and your personal cheerleaders, for all the reasons you smile, get covered with dental and vision insurance from Delta Dental of Wisconsin and Delta Vision. Support your overall health so you can be your best for those who matter to you most. Call Eric Pearson. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help. Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Packers lose to the Bears. Yes, haven't had to say that in 11 games prior, but that is the result. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. We're not going to go to the phone lines just yet. We will, but the first one we're definitely going to is the one that said everything you guys said is true, because I like that one. Good job screening that one, Strophy. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman here with you. Now, I had the moment yesterday again. Now, sometimes my moments are right, sometimes my moments are wrong, but
most times wrong.
Go ahead. Yeah, Mr. They're gonna my expectations, the NFC Championship game. Now I'm playing with house money guy.
Boy.
The Lions and the Vikings on Sunday Night Football
contentious
was a great eye-opener as to how far the Lions are from the Packers. And even to Bede's last call, right? Bede's called and said, what do the Packers do against the Lions? This, that, and the other thing. Yesterday night felt like a playoff game. It had playoff vibes, playoff atmosphere, playoff feel with inside the game, hard-hitting, guys needing to make plays, and the better team would prevail. The Detroit Lions are decimated with injuries. Decimated. Yet, when they're going against the Minnesota Vikings, who the Packers just face as Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and somehow Jalen Naylor getting loose because of how great Jefferson is, the Lions decided to say, hey, we are going to bring 5, 6, 7 guys the entire game, go man-to-man against Jefferson and Addison, and Darnold goes 19 for 41, and the leading receiver in Justin Jefferson had 3 catches for 56 yards, and Darnold looked like the old Darnold of the New York Jets seeing ghosts. Does anybody think that Matt LaFleur and Jeff Hafley could come up with a plan with all of those injuries? And, Kyle, you're the one who's always complaining, it took Jeff Hafley through the first half to adjust how to defend the Minnesota Vikings, and he adjusted. This was a plan, and with all those bodies down, they executed. And to me, that is a representation of Dan Campbell and the coaching staffs and the players all being in unison and all buying in despite who's on the field. The fact that Rich Bisaccia and Matt LaFleur are having a chit-chat about if they're going to kick the 55-yard or not is all planning and preparation. It's like I keep going to the word reactive. Brad, your plan thing. There was a plan, and they went out and they practiced it, and they executed it last night in the Lions. They beat the crap out of the Vikings shorthanded. They changed the entire way they did things for 1 week to stop the team they were playing. What is the Packers' identity? Does anyone believe Matt LaFleur, Jeff Hafley? I guess you can throw Stenovich in there, but nobody talks about him because Matt LaFleur is calling the plays and doing the clock management that everyone is upset about. No one can tell me right now that you feel confident in the Packers putting together a plan to stop the Philadelphia Eagles based off what we've seen from this team against the Chicago Bears, no matter who was on the field yesterday.
Yeah, the problem is the Packers have been too consistent in a few different things. Now, maybe Matt LaFleur can put together a scheme to make, Willis look pretty good for a couple games to get some wins earlier in the year. But you see what the Lions do. There's a plan. There's culture. There's scheme, offensive and defensively. There's buy-in. I mean, guys, I don't understand. There is no fall off on the defensive side of the ball for the Detroit Lions when more than half their starters are gone. We remove one player in Jair Alexander.
And Kyle's like, the season's over.
And we're thinking that there's no chance this defense can recover. It is something that Detroit does that no matter what, they have a plan. And when they go for it on 4th down and when they play to win, it is all completely in line with the narrative that he wants to create. When it comes to Green Bay Packers, Ben, you use the word narrative. I'm saying that there's reactionary. I'm saying there's no plan. Even the punt return for a touchdown, which, guys, skin boiling for me to watch. That is a play that has been in the NFL for 10 plus years. I remember watching game plans against teams trying to pull that off. Some teams trying to pull it off when I was a punter, but it just seemed like everything was reaction. Oh my gosh, the ball's going the other way. We can't respond. And then all the way down the sideline on a play that has been considered
The crazy part was, Brad, there was a line of 8 white jerseys on the right side.
I know,
all the green and gold were running the wrong way.
It's crazy. I mean, there is just...
Follow the leader.
And the problem is, which is why I desperately want to see the Packers win on Sunday, right? Just like KBN Nation does and Kyle and Ben and Strofe do. The problem is I just can't get over the things that Jason described in our last segment where there are so many issues that are not corrected. There's consistently no plan. I mean, we can go then down the list of issues. Wide receivers dropping balls, no pass rush, defense not getting stops, Jordan Love being inconsistent. These are things that have not improved over the course of the season compared to last year when we saw significant improvement over the course of the year. That's why I don't have a whole lot of hope going into this game on Sunday.
Over to the KBN Sports Desk with Ben Brust, unless Alex Strofe is reading my mind.
I'm reading your mind. This note from Adam Schefter ahead of Sunday's game, a note to keep an eye on throughout the week. Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts, still in concussion protocol, has missed the last 3 games.
He's dazed and confused. He's going to be loopy on Sunday.
800-990.
He's going to tush push backwards.
3776.
I like it.
Chris and Muskego, you're on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Oh, just splendid.
Right. Yeah.
I'm pretty pissed. I think LaFleur is going to be on the hot seat. I mean, he's had all season. He's mismanaged multiple games, and it's been on him. Like everybody said, clock management. You got to put a little bit on Goody for not getting a veteran wide receiver in this core because all you got your top receivers, a third-year players, Dobbs and Watson, that have no one to show them how to play that position.
I agree with that.
Thank you, Chris. LaFleur is not going to be gone.
We'll make
that very, very clear. Does he deserve criticism for the last 2 weeks in the way the team has been coached and played? Absolutely. But he is not going anywhere. Let's make that very clear right now. But I understand your frustration. Alicia in Racine, you are up. 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys. Well,
Hey, what's up?
I hate to admit it, but I have to agree with what you've been saying about the Packers. And I've seen it before with them. It's like they coast on history or something. They're not proactive enough. They don't get it together until the very end, and it's kind of a pattern this year. And, I'm not letting LaFleur off the hot seat, as you said, because I think he's gotten a little complacent, maybe, and maybe needs to shake things up a little bit, get some kind of catalyst going, maybe, in the receiver corps or something to bring them more together. They've got to be more proactive because they don't have an identity. You're right. They're just kind of out there playing. Maybe they'll come back at the end. They don't hit them hard from the beginning. They got to play more smash mouth football, and it just seems to just keep going, and it doesn't get fixed. And now people are calling him out, and it's just turning into a whole thing. So I think they're like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They got the peanut butter, the jelly, and the bread, but they got the jelly and the peanut butter, or they got the bread and the jelly, but they just can't seem to bring it all together.
That is perfect.
I love a good analogy.
That is perfect, Brad. Brad is so happy about the analogy, and all I can think of, you were like,
peanut butter and jelly. I'm listening.
When it's the offense's fault, the defense was great. When it's the defense's fault, the offense was great. They have not played complementary football in a 17-game season to make you feel confident heading into Philadelphia.
And honestly, too, even within each unit, you have a game-winning potential 55-yard kick, and you have a punt return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, there is just no level of consistency, whether it be between the units or within the units.
I've seen this a couple times now. The Packers have Eberflus themselves against the Bears has been hurting seeing that one. Hugh in Waukesha, 800-990-3776. You're on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys. I got some good news and some bad news.
Okay, what's our rule? What's our show rule? Good or bad first?
Give it a bad first. I want bad first.
It's the same. The Packers are a playoff team. It's different than it was. Brad, we went to school with your mom. At
wow. Cool.
And in the 70s, we hoped for a win. In the 80s, when the Bears were winning this, we hoped for a win. But now we expect a win. We're a playoff team, which is awesome and something to celebrate. However, we're just a playoff team. We are not a Super Bowl contender right now.
Hugh, we said the bad news first. You killed us there.
Hey, Hugh's a family friend.
An estranged family friend.
Oh, wow. Well,
I don't know if you were listening, but he said they're the same. The good news and the bad news are the same. They're playoff.
Oh, that's what he was saying.
Got it.
Good job, guys. Way to follow.
From Hugh.
Nice job, guys.
I was still
that was way too deep for us to understand.
And I wonder, and like from Alicia's call, was it before? Is that who it was?
Uncrustable Alicia.
Uncrustable, that's right. She talked about like there's a version of like history following the Packers, and Hugh just said like it's all the same. Kyle, you said something in our pre-show that's interesting. Maybe we get to this on the other side. Is it too late for Matt LaFleur to implement a culture? Because you said he couldn't do it with Aaron Rodgers in our pre-show meeting, Kyle. So is it too late for for Matt LaFleur to implement a culture?
Okay. Is he the hard ass? Is he the is he the players coach? Like is he the schemer? Or is he just the guy?
You know, when I was substitute teaching at MPS,
everyone made fun of you.
No, not at all. I was a cool dude. They loved me. But what I realized early on when I substitute taught with the second graders and I substitute taught in the seventh with the seventh graders, I realized I made a mistake. My mama said what you should have did, Kyle, is when you go into the classroom, you be tough right away, and then you loosen up. If you come in too friendly, they're going to run all over you. And what did I do?
You came in friendly.
Way
too friendly.
Like, hey, stop. And now Matt LaFleur is at the point where he obviously was too friendly. But what we got to do is I've listened
Stop licking the window.
I've listened to you talk, Brad. I listened to you talk, Ben. I've listened to the callers, and I just got to let everybody know we cannot let one game against the Chicago Bears.
It's not about the game.
Let me just
it's
wait
about
a minute.
the 17.
We can't let overall the 17 was good. It wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't elite, but it was good, right? But we can't let what just happened dictate how we feel today. Overall, we should be happy because teams have to go through obstacles. That's what happens in football. And the Green Bay Packers are facing adversity. That is a good thing. So for this to be one of the youngest teams in the NFL to face adversity at this point, now we get to see what they are made of. Can they overcome that? Because you know what they got? They got a reality check. They got a wake-up call in this game against the Chicago Bears. You can't go half behind and think that you can beat anybody. If you are not focused and locked in on the task and mission at hand every single week, you could lose football games. One thing the Packers did this entire season, up until last week against the Bears, they had beaten every bad, average, and okay team on their schedule. This was the first time that they lost a football game to a team that was worse than them. And you know why it was that way? It's because they were not locked in and focused and did not know what the task was going into Sunday. They were, I don't know. Are we going to play or are we not going to play?
That's a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to make myself feel better.
Slow down, and we cannot allow this one game to dictate what the outlook on the season is going to be.
Don in a car, quickly, 800-990-3776. You're on the Carb List Talking text line.
Well, it just seems like last year when nobody expected much, they got a young team and nobody really thought they were going to do that much. Nobody really thought Jordan Love was proved. Now they did what they did last year. Now this year they come in with an expectation, and I think they don't know how to play with an expectation. It's like last year they played loose, they had fun, and they won some games. And this year, Dan Campbell told his team last year, enjoy this because there's no guarantee we're going to be back. And it's like these guys, I don't know. It's just something. I think it's coaching that they're not prepared, but I also think the young players, they're not playing the way they did last year.
Yeah, I appreciate the call, Don. And it's true. It's true that you are able to play more loose when you're young and there's less expectations. There's more expectations. You are going against the Lions this year, you were the second best odds to win the NFC North, and it was like then the Vikings, or actually it was the Bears then the Vikings were last. And then as you see the Vikings ascend, they continue to ascend, and the Lions take another step forward and continue on with that success, you're chasing that. And they've been chasing all year long.
You're letting one game, and again, the line.
One game. I just mentioned they're 1-5 against the division.
They're hitting.
They lost to the
right
Eagles.
I understand that, but tell me this: what did we learn yesterday about this?
That Matt
football
LaFleur
team?
runs the same plays the last 3 weeks and is very predictable.
Okay, but what did we learn?
End around to Jaden Reed on 4th and 3. I'm sure you were happy with that, Kyle.
I was not. What did we learn about the Lions yesterday between the Packers? Nothing. We knew the Lions were better than the Packers.
Yeah, but
we
the gap continues to get bigger.
No, the gap doesn't grow. The gap doesn't grow. The Packers, listen, when my Packers upset the Eagles and we got to go into Detroit, I'm going to be excited about that football game because I know that the Packers can compete with them and Detroit knows they can compete with them. So I'm not concerned about what you think the gap is. Football is week to week. What we do know is that the Green Bay Packers.
So funny.
And I'm not funny. Y'all can sit here and laugh all you want, but I'm telling you this right now. We heard Amon-Ra St. Brown say that the Green Bay Packers, they had to see a team in the playoffs. What team did he not want to see?
It was like 8 weeks ago.
That was
He hasn't
like
seen the downfall.
I wonder if he would change his mind at this point.
You're holding on to something from so long ago.
No, I'm just saying. Everybody knows the Packers are a dangerous football team. Are
800
they down right now, yes, but they're still
Back
dangerous.
in 2007, the Packers were really good. Watch out, Eagles.
Nice one, Strofe.
I don't even get it.
800-990-3776. The Carpless Talking text line.
Not the first time that's happened to Sig and Kyle.
More, right, Brad?
Oh, this is certainly more. And you know, I've been out for a little bit. That's very true. But you know what was accompanying me the whole time? Was a carbless. From the holiday season to New Year's, baby, to all the way to watching games this weekend, I had a carbless right beside me. I'd go down to the fridge, I'd open it on up. And carbless, honestly, it's an opportunity these last couple of weeks for other people to experience it if they haven't already. Because we had friends over. We had a bunch of people that we saw. So when they tried it for the first time, it's like I fall in love with it all over again. People are amazed by the flavor. The flavor, guys, of the fruit flavors, like black raspberry, cranberry, lemon lime, or the classic cocktails, Paloma, Mojito. And guys, I'm doubling down on my favorite flavor, margarita. It's just so darn good. But not only that, guys, it's a new year. That oftentimes means a new you. And maybe it can help you live more of a guilt-free life because it's carb-free, it's gluten-free, it's sugar-free. Less carbonation, made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Carbless has something for everybody. I know I enjoyed it all holiday season long, all New Year's, and in 2025, I'm going to keep on enjoying it because I love me some Carbless. Liss is certainly more with Carbless.
If you're on the line, stay there, 800-990-3776. And if you want to be there, we'll take your calls, your texts, and on YouTube, at ESPN Milwaukee, at ESPN Madison. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Yeah.
KBN.
You said they are a reflection of their head coach.
Yes, he saw it as he proved with you by signing that damn jersey you had on. You think Campbell would have signed that jersey?
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Even when you think you know what's going on, you can never be too sure.
Really? 7 losses in a row? Last in the Horizon League, Doug? Spend less time on social media and more in the gym.
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
That's the whole thing, Jen. I do have that in me, and I never, ever bar back. But I'm like, this is over the top, and if you want to come at me, I'm going to come at you.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. Yay! It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Join the roar of 18,000 Bucs fans at Fiserv Forum and be a part of the slam dunks, game-changing plays, and electrifying victories live. Witness the edge-of-your-seat action and unforgettable moments as they happen. You don't want to miss this. Grab your calendar, handpick your favorite matchups, and secure your seats for Dame time in Milwaukee and every incredible moment that comes next at Bucs.com/tickets. That's Bucs.com/tickets.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Wisconsin Lutheran boys basketball player Isaiah Mellock. The 6'2 senior guard spent his sophomore and junior seasons making a big impact on the varsity squad while coming off the bench mostly, but he was a part of last season's state title team. This year, however, the Vikings starting combo guard is showcasing his talent. Mellock is averaging over 12 points a game and is shooting 50% from beyond the arc, helping Wisconsin Lutheran to an undefeated start this season. That, of course, including big wins at the Rick Majerus WBY shootout, where he put up 18 points in a win over Marquette and earned MVP. Off the court, Isaiah boasts a 3.5 GPA and is looking to continue his basketball career once he graduates. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Isaiah Mellock.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, all together with you. Alex Strofe running the show. You, KBN Nation, at the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776. And watch the show and see our beautiful faces on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. James the Postman with a wonderful text. For Kyle Wallace to be somebody that always talks about the eye test, he completely ignores it when it comes to our Packers, which I guess we already knew.
No, I look at the eye
James.
test. Listen, you know what's crazy? James, you should have listened to me last week. I thought this team had no chance whatsoever after they lose Jair Alexander. I understand after seeing the eye test that we are a very good football team, but we are not an elite Super Bowl caliber football team. I understand that. And so that's what the eye test shows us. It knows that we have a good quarterback. It knows we have a great running back. It knows we have a good offensive line. It knows that our defense can play well against below average football teams, but we're not good enough against elite teams. So listen, the eye test shows us exactly what this team is. They're a very good football team, but they are not an elite football team.
Let's go to Gil in Oak Creek, 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talk and text line. Gil, what do you got?
Hey, guys, how's it going? So my big thing is, what happened to our playbook from last year? We went from, at the end, the second part of last season, we were slinging the ball. Reed was involved. Reed disappeared this year. All of a sudden, we got Josh Jacobs, and we can't seem to remember how to pass the ball. Like, we pound it so well with him, but at some point, you got to be able to air it out, and that part of the playbook seems to be lost.
Yeah, Gil, I'm with you here. I feel like there's been everyone would agree that Matt LaFleur is a good offensive head coach, but I do believe that it's been pretty predictable. And obviously, I don't mind the first drive being the Josh Jacobs drive, but Kyle, you and I talked about on Monday after the Vikings game, like, just because he fumbled on the first drive doesn't mean you have to just go away from Josh Jacobs. Like, they're the same fake end around inside handoff to Jacobs. Like, I've seen it a million times. The end arounds, it's like pick your guy each week of have they busted an end around open for over 20 yards this year?
Yeah, I feel like they have. I feel like Christian Watson probably had one. Or
no,
Jayden
they're
Reed had
all
a big
six. They're the big plays were early in the year. I remember all we were talking about through the first 7 games were look at these 20-yard plus plays, and the Packers lead the league in that. They have consistently regressed backwards in offense, and then the defense not getting the pass rush. This whole thing has been over to the KBN Sports Desk with Alex Strofe.
I'm going to completely derail our current conversation for just a quick moment.
You can do what you think is best.
Adam Schefter reporting the Chicago Bears have sought permission to interview
Ben Johnson,
Mike McCarthy,
Jeff
Cowboys
Hafley.
head coach Mike McCarthy.
That is the most Bears thing ever.
Why do they need permission? Isn't he not under contract?
If the Packers do not allow permission this week, the Bears could interview McCarthy after the negotiating window with Dallas expires January 14th.
Yeah, go ahead. Go get him.
So 8 days from today would be no longer need permission.
Ridiculous.
Can I be honest with you? I would hate it because the thing is, Mike McCarthy's a good head coach. He's developed multiple quarterbacks.
He's a good head coach, but he's on the back end. Like what truly has he accomplished since he's left the Green Bay Packers?
Nothing.
He's made the playoffs multiple times. Dak Prescott's best years have come under him. He's won 12 games. He's won divisions in a very tough division, competitive division.
Bears fan, Alex Strofe.
No, I'm not a Bears fan. I'm a Mike McCarthy fan. I don't want him to go to Chicago.
I do.
They could do a lot better, though.
I want them to try this first-year head coach thing again with Ben Johnson and prove he's a fraud.
No, I want
fraud? Ben Johnson?
I don't know what Ben Johnson is, but I know what Mike McCarthy is, and I know Mike McCarthy is not going to get his team to the Super Bowl.
I'm joking when I say Ben Johnson's a fraud, right? Because he's an offensive genius very clearly, but does that translate to being a head coach?
It's a good question.
Sometimes it doesn't, right? Cliff Kingsbury is a good example. What he's doing in Washington this year is really impressive.
What he did in Arizona?
Not so impressive.
Yeah.
Jinx.
You owe me a soda. The old joke. Gotcha. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Alex Strofe running the show. I want to shift to a little bit of, if you want to aid Brad to tell us about Sleeper Picks.
Oh, that's right. Sleeper Picks. That's going to be the new app that you are going to want to download because playoffs are starting, baby. NFL playoffs, and Sleeper Picks is going to be your go-to app to be able to enjoy it even further. I know I will. Here's how you play. You download the Sleeper app, and you pick more or less on 2 players on their projected stats. If you're right, you can win up to 100 times your cash. And for a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users just have to play $5. That's all, $5, and you're going to receive $55 in free entries. Brad, how do I get that? I'll tell you exactly how you get that. You download the Sleeper app today, and you use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. That's my name. Don't wear it out. And you'll get $55 in free entries when you play with just $5. That's code BRAD. You must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms for detail. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-246-2535 for help.
Strofe, I think we didn't implement something for myself and Brad as a daughter of a near 1-year-old and Brad as a
father of a 1-year-old.
You said daughter.
Yeah.
As a dad of an almost 1-year-old daughter, and Bradley being a foster parent, we might need a dad joke alert.
That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like that was
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Now, hold on, Brad. Wouldn't you want them to wear it out by signing up for Sleeper Picks?
Ooh, go ahead and wear it out, KBN Nation. Wear that B-R-A-D is the code. Don't forget.
We're back in 2 minutes with your calls, your reaction. Who's been the most disappointing Packer through these 17 games to you? Next.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm. Visit and enjoy a taste or two or three at a historic whiskey distillery, and we'll even stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and so many more. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion: flights, the meals, the hotels, the experiences. Don't worry about it. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Meet the wonderful Colette team and me on Sunday, February the 2nd to find out all the details. Or text HOMER to ESPN Milwaukee's talk and text line for full details. That's HOMER to 800-990-3776.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN. The Wisconsin On Demand app, and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
800-990-3776 continues to be the carbless talk and text line for you to interact with us. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Alex Strofer on the show. See us on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. Who has been the most disappointing Packer through 17 games? Kyle, I start with you.
Yep, so overall for me, when I think about this, we have a lot of options, unfortunately, for disappointment, whether or not you're thinking about some guys on the defensive line or some guys who are cornerbacks. But for me, I think it's an easy option. It falls on Matt LaFleur. The absolute shoulders of Matt LaFleur being the most disappointing person. And when I think at Matt LaFleur, there's a lot of things that should make us say, what's going on here? And the one thing that I observed and I really came to is that Matt LaFleur is suffering from something. You know what he's suffering from, Bradley?
What's that?
He's suffering from imposter syndrome.
Oh, wow.
He's suffering from the imposter syndrome of he does not truly know who he is and what he wants to be.
He's a chameleon. That's my one word.
No, he lacks the confidence in his own leadership. And again, when I hear somebody publicly say that they were indecisive, that to me shows when you are an indecisive head coach, you don't believe or trust in the decisions that you want to make. As a head coach of a football team, Bill Belichick, and he is a huge example because he's the greatest coach of all time in the NFL, but he probably had a decision and he stuck with it because he believed in his process and he believed in himself. When I look at Matt LaFleur, this imposter syndrome is what is keeping him from being great and keeping this team overall from being a great football team. When you talk about the fact that, you talk about at the end of the game, the timeout situation, right? Like you're talking to, Rich Bisaccia about what we're going to do. You're wasting time. You don't know what you're going to do because you're indecisive and you don't know who you are. And far too often this season, we have seen whether or not is this team a running team? Is this team a passing team? Last year, you know what? I just need to let Jordan Love let it rip, right? Like there's just so many things where he's just making these adjustments where he just cannot figure out this is who I am and this is the type of team we're going to be. And whether you guys like it or not, it's my way or the highway. And this is the football that we're playing. You're seeing a team in Detroit that is following behind a guy that knows he is not an imposter. He is who he is and is paying dividends on the football field. Unfortunately for the Green Bay Packers, we're winning football games because he is a great coach, but he is not a confident coach in his own leadership and believing his word is the greatest word there is out there.
That's a good one, Kyle. That's a really good one. And, I'm going to go with a person who signed an extension before the season started, who is part of the lowest performing unit on the team, bar none, and that's Kenny Clark. I mean, I can understand some of the other guys across the offensive line struggling, right? But Kenny Clark
defensive line,
excuse me. But Kenny Clark is the undisputed veteran of that group. He's on his 9th season, and he signed the very rare 3rd contract for the Green Bay Packers. That is how much Goody believed in him. And you know what that's accounted for this year? Being completely absent.
You could just say, and that's a good answer.
Completely absent. We were talking about in pre-show wondering, was he one of the guys that Matt LaFleur sat yesterday? Because we don't see him. He never shows up on film. He's very rarely hurrying quarterbacks. Guys, you know how many sacks he has this year?
Sack and a half?
What's your guess?
He says second half 3.
1 sack.
Oh, come on.
1 sack.
1 sack.
A career low by far for Kenny Clark, coming off the heels of a brand new contract. The Packers are stuck with him for a couple more years.
Don't we have more guys on the D-line now?
I mean,
shouldn't it technically free him up once in a while?
It should free him up more. And the thing is, he got that sack against Miami when they were up big in that game against Miami when it was in Green Bay. He wasn't even a part of the sack parties that occurred against the Titans. What was that other game? There was a ton of sacks. I don't even remember.
Saints?
The Saints. When there was
Seattle. It was the Sam Howell, Geno Smith.
He couldn't even
sack
get
fest.
on the stat sheet for the sack party when everyone got a sack. Kenny Clark completely absent. One of the biggest issues that's causing this defensive line to have no presence whatsoever. That starts with Kenny Clark, who should be your annual Pro Bowl guy. He is certainly not.
800-990-3776. I want to get to Brandon Tulsa on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Brandon, your most disappointing Green Bay Packer thus far in the season?
It's pretty easily for me, Jordan Love. And I'm only picking Jordan because, when you hold out in camp for a max contract, you've got to deliver when they pay you. I had no problem with him doing it, especially since he's obviously our guy. It's not like Goody was going to move on from him. But when you do that, what you're saying is, I'm worth every penny, and once you pay me, I'm going to be that MVP caliber QB. You don't pay middle-of-the-road quarterbacks that kind of money. And Jordan, he just doesn't have it this year. I mean, just the inaccuracy issues. You watch him put balls in the dirt. He sails passes. Passes are behind guys. I don't know what his completion percentage is this year, but it can't be any better than last year. He's just not playing like a guy that's worth that kind of a contract. And for this team to win a Super Bowl, he's going to have to take a giant leap forward next year. We can complain
Brandon,
about.
I think we can help you here because Ben on the interstate has some Jordan Love stuff for you on the Carbless Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776. Ben.
Interstate has some Jordan Love stuff.
Radio down, you're up, Ben.
Yeah, I think he's.
Yeah, I was just saying his completion rating is low this year, and his touchdown to interception rating isn't as good as it was. So I just kind of wanted to hear what you guys had to say about that.
I mean, it's a product of everything we've been talking about. Matt LaFleur, identity, leaning on Jacobs more, him letting it rip last year, finding the rhythm. We've been saying he needs to find rhythm. We think he's finding rhythm, and we see the Vikings game, and through 3 quarters, it's not great.
Yeah, this is called your head football coach doesn't know how to maximize his quarterback consistently because we went into the bye week, and there was a big issue. The issue was Jordan Love. He was throwing the ball a lot, but he wasn't making the best decisions throwing the football. And you have to find a way to coach up Jordan Love to understand we don't want you to not be yourself and overthink it, but we need for you to make sure you are making smart decisions, which has led to the Green Bay Packers are not throwing the football 30, 35 times per game. Like even yesterday in the fourth quarter, I still see Jared Goff throwing the football and they up by like 20 points, right? It's because that's their identity. And so, again, he has not allowed Jordan Love to be unleashed in the second half of the football season. And this is what's leading to the negative talk about Jordan Love because he hasn't had any pop performances. He's been more of a consistent game manager than he has been an absolute stud on the football field as a quarterback.
Now, Josh DiMaggio, the producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Mornings 94.5 ESPN chimes in. Matt LaFleur needs a game manager sensei whose only job is clock management and timeouts.
It's not a bad idea.
And challenges. Need a guy for challenges also.
Well, he won one.
He won one yesterday.
Yeah. It was
blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes.
Replay Assist should have had that one, but will help the challenge record this year for Matt LaFleur. Doug, you've been waiting a long time. We appreciate you waiting. 800-990-3776. You're up on the Carbless Talk and Text line.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
But, I'm just wondering if maybe this indecisiveness from LaFleur and the misdirection of the team or loss of identity from the team is a Robert Saleh effect. LaFleur brought him in once he got fired from the Jets, and ever since then it seems like, I don't know, the whole identity is kind of gone. And is there too many Chiefs in the operation now and kind of losing themselves because of another year going on?
Thank you, Doug.
It's all Aaron Rodgers' fault.
Yeah, there wasn't. The thing is, there wasn't a real identity that we could point to before Robert Saleh got here.
It's Aaron Rodgers' fault, Kyle.
Okay, sure. Aaron Rodgers' fault.
And you could say that actually the Jets were better with Robert Saleh.
Yeah, they sure were. They sure were.
Looked pretty good yesterday, though.
Yeah,
well, pretty good's probably an overstatement.
Yeah, much.
Rodgers looked pretty good.
He looked okay. Again, another
4 touchdowns.
Yeah, overstatement, but again, Miami, Snoop Huntley.
You get that nickname. Did not know that until recently.
You didn't know his name was Snoop?
No.
Nickname Snoop?
Only Snoop I know is Snoopy and Snoop Dogg.
Well, I know that Brad can help you get well with Quintessa.
Oh, that's right, guys. It is a new year.
And then, real quick, Jason Wilde is scheduled to appear. Good.
Jason Wilde, he's feeling good in 2025, and you can be too. I know I am. That's because, New Year's, it's not always just about hitting the gym and eating better. It's about total wellness. And that is where Quintessa Aesthetic Center really can be a game changer when it comes to feeling energized, confident, and really ready to take on everything that 2025 has to offer. I go to the Brookfield location for Quintessa, work with Jess. She is awesome. She is getting me mentally, physically, all good to go. And not just hitting that low-level standard, but feeling optimized. And right now, through March 31st, Quintessa is offering a special New Year package to help you out kickstart the right way. And they can be personalized to you. Their wellness plans, which include, even like skincare or IV therapy, hormone therapy. They even have infrared saunas, which feel unbelievable. Supplements. They've got me feeling my best due to all the supplements and treatments that Quintessa is helping me with. It's time for you to invest in your health as well with Quintessa. They make it simple and easy, effective, and completely tailored to you. So if you're ready to have 2025 be the year of health, then Quintessa is here to help you. Visit myquintessa.com today and take your first step in a more confident, revitalized you.
After a passionate monologue about where Jason Wilde thinks the Green Bay Packers are heading into the Eagles game earlier on Wilde and Tausch from 9 to noon on these stations, we get a chance to get some more thoughts and opinions from Jason joining us next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Tausch, thank you for all that baby talk there and parenting talk. I'll take some of those tips.
I was getting ready for it right
now. Yeah,
taking notes over there,
taking some of those nips. Taking some of those tips. those tips and storing them away. I do like nips as well. But Tausch.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Starting off with a little bit of action. We've got some pavement damage on southbound 43 between Mequon Road and the county line. The left lane is closed right now, so very localized delays right in that neck of the woods. And then in Racine County, US 45 north and southbound is closed right now at Plank Road because of an accident. This is in Yorkville, so want to be extra careful if you're heading through that area. Otherwise, the rest of the system is looking okay, not seeing too many other major delays. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight. Partly cloudy skies, a low of 17. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
What happens when you mix a three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be.
Kringle
I think his legs.
Yeah. Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two. I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just That simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Wintrust. Get your Golden Eagles essentials by opening Marquette checking from Wintrust today.
Number 8 Marquette used a 26-3 run between the end of the first half and beginning of the second to down Creighton 79-71 at Fiserv Forum. Senior guard Cam Jones scored 15 of his 22 points in the second half to go along with 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. His 7th game this season with 12-plus points, 5-plus assists, and 5-plus rebounds.
Back out Cam Jones. Open three. You bet. Oh, baby.
Oh, I thought he had a layup. It's a good find there.
Welcome back, Cam Jones. We missed you.
Senior guard Stevie Mitchell finished with 18 points, 14 coming in the first half, along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. His 4th straight game scoring in double digits. The Golden Eagles moved to 13-2 overall and 4-0 in Big East play. They stay home to host Georgetown Tuesday night.
This has been the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Wintrust, Wisconsin's bank, and the official bank of Marquette University.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand-select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top-quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Joining us on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin is Jason Wilde. Listen to Jason on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon across these very stations. Jason, how are you?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Just dissecting the Green Bay Packers. As you can imagine, we did play some audio from you earlier in reference to a little bit of you finding out, what this team would have to do in order to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and you'd say play close to a perfect game. I want to switch to a different gear. Who do you think's been the most disappointing Green Bay Packer through the 17 games of the season?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of disappointments that guys that haven't made the jump or whatever else. Who do you think it is?
Kyle with Matt LaFleur. Kenny Clark, I think, was a Brad Nortman, and honestly, there's too many that I didn't even get to choose mine. But again, the world is yours.
Oh, hold on a second. So they make the playoffs. They go 11-6, and our topic today is who's the most disappointing Packer?
There's more than one topic, Jason.
That's where you're starting. What is there a? Are there any other?
Is Matt LaFleur capable of winning a game with time management as a problem?
Yeah, Jason, I think it just comes down to the fact that everybody's basically, playing Monday morning quarterback and looking at what happened yesterday and trying to, basically what you said, right, was yesterday's game a microcosm of what this whole season has been? And when you look at Matt LaFleur, and for me, the word that sticks out to me is what he said. He said indecisive, and I said that's perfect because that seems like that has been Matt LaFleur over these last 2 years where there's some indecisive moments that have cost the Green Bay Packers. So I think that's why the conversation is about where the concerns are at, because this team don't look like a Super Bowl caliber team.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever thought they were a Super Bowl caliber team though. Like I don't think Matt LaFleur. I don't remember Matt LaFleur using the word indecisive. I remember Tausch using it, but he was definitely. It's the right word. There's no doubt about that. And whether or not, they should have used more time, or whether or not they should have played it. Those are all very valid criticisms of yesterday's loss. To me, the question is, and this is what I asked LaFleur, 3 consecutive questions about, is what's going on with the passing game and how do you get it fixed? Because they're not going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles if they can't throw the ball effectively. And for the last 2 games, and it feels a little bit like the Vikings with their man coverage discovered something that has kind of flummoxed them. You don't see guys getting schemed open. You don't see Jordan Love throwing the ball accurately. To me, that's a more constructive question as far as what are they going to do to get that fixed? Because if this becomes a shootout, you can't just keep handing the ball to Josh Jacobs. And so I'll be curious to see exactly how it plays out on Sunday. But the bottom line is that as bad as it was yesterday, and as much criticism as they deserve for yesterday's performance, at the same time, like, even if they'd have won 42-0, they'd still be the 7th seed, and they'd still be facing the same challenge against the Eagles that they're facing. We at least, and probably they to some extent, I mean, they spent their day trying to flush that performance, but, we're obviously going to harp on it because it's the last game, and they did not go into the playoffs the way you expected them to, or if you're a Packers fan, the way you wanted them to.
But, Jason, with the loss yesterday, I guess what I'm trying to determine is how low are the vibes, the level of concern, the frustration? Because in your show this morning, Wilde and Tausch, and we played it on our show, you said that Xavier McKinney and Rashawn Gary sort of took over and took control of Matt LaFleur's post-game, talk to the guys in the locker room. Can you just provide a little bit more color as to what was said and what that looked like? Because if I'm a player, if I'm a Green Bay Packer, if I'm Daniel Whalen, hopefully not giving up a punt return, and all of a sudden my marquee Pro Bowler defenders start, cutting off the coach and maybe rallying everybody, it's kind of shooting up some red flags for me about maybe there's a little bit more concern in the locker room than I give credit to.
Yeah, I mean, look, when they get to a point where they're criticizing or questioning, the decisions and that, I don't think that's what it was. Like, if I painted the picture that they interrupted LaFleur and took over it, that was not my intent. I don't think that that's what they did.
No. Sorry to interrupt. That's not how I took it at all. I thought it was almost like a, come on, guys, we got to wake up kind of thing. Is that how it was? Even that is still a little like, whoa, I mean, this seems like a little bit of hitting the panic button a little bit.
Well, I think that what probably happened, and look, Tausch would tell you, and you certainly know this from playing, anytime you start to have player-only meetings, you don't do that when things are going well, right? It's obviously an indicator. That's not what this was. This was 2 guys speaking up, and according to, they didn't want to talk about, Gary didn't talk to us at all. McKinney said he just wanted to keep it in-house. I can tell you, Edger and Cooper said the message was, we've got to make sure we're dialed in 100%. We had that talk after the game. No excuses. No, I didn't get the call. Nothing like that. None of it. We just got to attack it.
Okay.
Carrington Valentine, it was emotional. It's win or go home now. We're going into the postseason. If we lose, we're out. So we've got to get our blank together was the message. And then Sean Ryan, they said, put your pride aside and just blanking work. Not that we haven't been working, but coming off 2 losses, I think we've got to get back to the bare bones of honest work is what we're going to need. We didn't put in all this work just to go 1 and out in the playoffs. This is our blanking job, and you're going to get called out for it. It's a performance-based business.
Yeah, see, Jason, I like this, but then also it is a cause for concern for me because whose fault is it that this team wasn't prepared? They weren't dialed in because for a general fan watching yesterday, you could just feel that this team didn't seem like they were 100% engaged, 100% not interested, but they just didn't seem like they had juice. They had a purpose yesterday. You, from your perspective of somebody who's covered this team for 20 plus years, did you kind of get that vibe and that feel that they just didn't seem like they were playing with a purpose yesterday?
I didn't get that feeling while I was watching the game, but certainly, LaFleur kind of opened the door for that possibility based on what he said afterward, and whether or not guys were dialed in. I mean, he spent a significant portion today. He said something about the details and getting focused on the details. And, that left me wondering, well, what are those details, right? And so I asked him that, and, he talked about, I love when coaches talk about fundamentals, but he did have an answer of, they've gone a lot more walk through and jog through late in the season, and he thinks that's impacted, stuff like pad level, all the boring stuff that we kind of roll our eyes at, but he thinks those things have been the factors and why they've been, and he used the word sloppy. I asked him what that meant. So whether that's bad pad level, bad hand placement if you're an offensive lineman blocking or if you're a defensive lineman trying to get up the field, imprecise route running, obviously Love with his footwork and his accuracy. So, when the coach is saying that it's sloppy after 17 games, my point to him was, look, you were pretty dialed in for a lot of the season. Why would you be sloppy now? And he said, that's a great question. And I thought, well, thank you. But the fact of the matter is that I think they don't practice the same way they do coming out of training camp early in the season. And I think it's pretty clear that they're going to go back to a more, disciplined, more traditional practice structure this week in an attempt to get those fundamentals and those details fixed.
Talking with Jason Wilde here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. And Jason, obviously last year they had to win a lot of their games before they were that 7 seed and had momentum heading into that Dallas game. Now, Dallas was undefeated at home, and they did get it done. Do you feel like this team is just in a different spot where, I just feel like there's a lot of people, grasping and hoping? There was a belief last year. Is that belief still there in the locker room? It just is just a weird dynamic from a team that was so young. Is it being a team that was hunted versus hunting? How can you pinpoint how they got to a place heading into an Eagles game where there's way less optimism that they win versus last year?
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't have locker room access today, so I'm always curious where guys are at the day after as opposed to, a half hour after the game. But, I think they're frustrated, obviously, with the way they're playing, and it is a sharp difference between how they were playing going into the playoffs last year and when you're trying to rely on any given Sunday and saying, hey, we can flip the switch now, it's win or go home, all that kind of stuff. That's great. But you'd obviously, even if you lost, you would like to have felt like you were playing better. In the last 2 games, they didn't play well in Minnesota. They got, a couple of touchdowns there in the fourth quarter to score 15 points and cut the lead to 2, but they didn't play well in that game, and they certainly didn't play well yesterday. And, I think they feel like if Josh Jacobs is playing the whole game, if Jordan Love's not, we do probably have to remember some of the adversity or some of the decisions that were made, right? Not wanting to risk Josh Jacobs in what turned out to be a meaningless game because Washington won in Dallas. That was a decision they made. Not putting Jordan Love back into the game after he regained feeling in his throwing hand. Part of that was a medical decision because if he gets somehow hit on that elbow again, that nerve can shut down, and then you're spending the whole week trying to get it firing again. So they took the cautious approach there. They did get the turnover and get the lead. And then they obviously failed to protect that lead. And, the biggest criticism that I think there might be beyond the timing element was, Matt LaFleur said it today, you can't play that coverage. The fact that they had all those 3 guys so far back beyond the line that the Bears needed to get to kick the field goal, that's a head scratcher.
Disaster.
Yeah, it was a mistake. There's no doubt about it. But again, there's always a variety of reasons why you lose a game, and there's certainly LaFleur with his clock management. There's certainly Jeff Hafley calling that defense. There's certainly, the fact that they allowed the guy to get up more quickly. There's a whole thing. Brad can speak to this of, the how slowly you get off the guy that you tackled, even if that costs a second or two, that makes a difference, right?
I'd lay there dead.
I mean, right. I mean, if you're, go back to the punt return, like the fact that, I'm sure Brad has talked about this already on the show, but if you say you're punting the ball left, then you should probably try, and maybe it wasn't communicated as well as it was supposed to, but Brad, help me out here. The fact that they all fell for the banana in the tailpipe and all chased DJ Moore on the right side, this is what happened in the 2011 game when it worked and they got a holding penalty. But the only one who was paying attention was the guy who booted it, Tim Mastay, my favorite punter ahead of you. And he's the only guy that was in position to try and tackle Johnny Knox as he ran up the sideline. That happened again here where, if you tell them you're punting left, unless you really, really suck, it is not going to end up where DJ Moore was standing and feigning that he was catching the punt, correct?
That is correct. And I'm not going to go too much in the punting weeds, but he took a very strong angle to the right. But that punt, the way he punts it, naturally goes left. So I don't know what Waylon was trying to do, but if you are trying to go right and it does go left, you better be screaming to the high heavens, left, 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 so that your guys can redirect. But there were so many cardinal sins committed on that punt. That's a punt that's been in the NFL for 10 plus years. So there's no excuse for the scheme to be duped by that and for the punter to lack his ability to execute the punt. Gosh darn it. Thank you for that moment, Jason.
You're welcome.
Jason, we appreciate the time, and thank you for Brad getting back from vacation, getting to talk a little special teams in depth today.
You got to love that. All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde.
Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Clearly, you're really happy.
No, I am happy. I mean, Jason kept it real. He kept it 100.
All right, Brad. Sleeper picks. Tell us what's going on.
I can tell you how you have a great time with sleeper picks, as I am, because the NFL playoffs are starting. So you don't have to just watch the green and gold. You can have fun with all games included. Because with sleeper picks, you get to be able to pick a player, at least two players, have more or less of a projected stat. And if you are right, you can win up to 100 times your cash. That's right. Sleeper Picks is the go-to app to be able to pick more or less to be able to win some money. And for a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. Listen to this. New users have to play just $5, a $5 play, and you'll be able to receive $55 in free entry. Here's how you do it. You download the Sleeper app today, and you use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. That's me. Use code BRAD, and you'll be able to get $55 in free entries when you play just $5. Use code BRAD with Sleeper Picks, and you'll be having fun with the NFL playoffs and all different type of action across the NBA and anything your heart desires. You must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
800-990-3776. If you've been on hold, we'll get you. If you want to talk, you know where to go. The Carbless Talking text line next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Student Athlete Support Fund is something I was looking at. I'm ultimately likely going to give to this College of Letters. I was in life.
Long week.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
We are looking at a relatively quiet ride around most of the area. We just have a couple of issues. On southbound 43 between Mequon Road and the county line, we have some pavement damage, and they've got the left lane blocked. So things are slowing down from almost all the way back to Highland Road, so be careful with that. We've also got US 45 closed in both directions in Racine County. This is just south of Highway 20, right at Plank Road. There's an accident there, so you want to try and stay away from that area. That's near Yorkville. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 17. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 26. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
The Packers' 11-game winning streak over the Bears is over after a 24-22 loss at Lambeau Field. However, the big story coming out of the game, the health of Jordan Love. The Green Bay starting quarterback left in the second quarter with a right elbow injury. After the game, Love talked about what happened on the play that caused the injury.
I landed on it on the ground, I think. Just kind of pretty much lost all feeling in my hand and pretty much just went numb.
The Packers will be the 7th seed in the NFC playoffs and will visit the number 2 seed Philadelphia Eagles this coming wildcard weekend.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Oh, well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman hanging with you, KBN Nation at 800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text Line. Strophe running the show. Greg, you've been on hold. We did ask who's been the most disappointing Packer through 17 weeks. You've been holding. Let this one rip. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I'd have to say as a player, Kenny Clark, but Matt LaFleur is the biggest disappointment. I'm sorry.
Ding, ding, ding.
You know, it's... Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I was just he's just ding, ding, ding. Good job, Greg.
Same answer. Yeah, it's the same answer every single time. We got to get better. And it falls on my shoulders first. Okay, this has been every 17 weeks. I'm done with this. You know what? Take leadership. Lead by example.
Thank you, Greg.
I agree.
I'm still waiting on that moment for Matt LaFleur to make
what
the
moment?
Correct, critical in-game call, because we know he can scheme, we know he's smart, but what's that moment going to be where he marches his way down the field with Jordan Love and uses time perfectly, and you say right there, now that's it. Now that's Matt LaFleur getting it right.
All right.
We haven't even had one of those moments.
I think we need to take a step back here.
Okay.
The last 3 weeks, I think we'd all agree it's been pretty bland, very predictable. We always talk about him being a great schemer, offensive mind. He has proven to be saying that consistently. But as of recent times, I watch other teams, right?
Oh, here we go. The old Mike McCarthy getting bland speech we had a couple years ago. Aaron Rodgers.
No, this is the Lions. This is Ben Johnson. This is the guy that every week does something unique and different. Doesn't always work, but there's something new. There's a new wrinkle that just when you think he's done it all, he shows you something different that is successful. What has Matt LaFleur done? Then it has been so creative that you're like, whoa.
Right.
He schemed something up. They're struggling in the pass game, Kyle. They can't get open. He's got to get guys open.
All right.
If they can't win one-on-one matchups and man-to-man coverage, woof.
I agree. I 100% see where you're coming from, but I just want us to calm down a little bit. And if you want to, I know these games, a lot of games in the season, but you can go up and down the schedule, and you can see how many 30-point games the Green Bay Packers have. The offense was top. I haven't checked in the last 2 weeks, but going into the game against the Vikings, they were one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL.
I don't care what they were coming into the Vikings against the Niners and the Dolphins. I care what they've done.
To a good team that is better than them in the Vikings. The Vikings have a good defense. They had a scheme that we obviously were not prepared for.
This isn't the regular season. We're preparing for the Eagles.
I understand
the Eagles.
And so this is the moment that he needs to shape up. He won't get shipped out, but he just needs to shape up, and the team needs to say, we got to come together, we need to be dialed in, and we need to get our stuff ready to go. And so at the end of the day, I understand the game against the Bears, there should be an asterisk next to that, right? I'm not happy about losing to these stupid Bears, but I understand that this team did not give a wholehearted effort to win the football game on Sunday. If Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs play that entire football game, we not having this conversation
I don't care about the Bears.
whatsoever.
I want to talk about every team outside of the Bears they've lost to. Tell me how you feel the offense has performed. Because that is indicative of what you've seen against the teams in a team like the Eagles, who they played early in the season, who are better than they were when they played in Week 1.
Every big game they played against a really good football team. The offense has been very inconsistent in the first half, and they've had to play from behind. They haven't been able to establish anything. They tried with Josh Jacobs on the first drive. He fumbled, then they came back, and they did not give him the football. So I give you that. I understand against really elite football teams, this team offensively has not been able to get it together overall in the first half. But right now, just like we saw, I believe, when they had their bye week, was that Week 10, Week 11, they had the bye week, the Green Bay Packers went to the drawing board, and Brad, I think you talked about it. I know Strofe talked about it as well. We talked about the things that they must improve coming out of the bye week, and the Green Bay Packers improved almost every single one of those things. Now they have another chance where they got slapped in the face, and they realize, whoa. You
didn't have to actually slap yourself in the face.
I got to do it for the YouTube, baby.
Right there.
And so, but this is the opportunity for them to realize stuff don't stink, and we have to be on our P's and Q's, and we have to execute better. Let's go back. Let's see how we clean things up so we don't have an issue with the punting game. So this overall, I'm telling y'all, the loss to the Bears sucks, but the last 2 weeks is a wake-up call that the Green Bay Packers needed.
Well, I will say when Matt LaFleur, when it comes to scheming, there's so many issues when it comes to in-game and challenges and things like that, culture setting. I do believe he's a top play caller, but I think his status as a top play caller, it's the foundation is cracking a little bit, because it doesn't take long to look around the league and see what the Bills are doing, the Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, forget about it with Andy Reid, and then even Ben Johnson and Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings. I mean, they are taking these offenses. It looks like they are a stride or two better than the Green Bay Packers as far as what they're doing and creativity. So I wouldn't trade Matt LaFleur for many people when it comes to a play call. But you look around the NFL and you think, man, there is some creative stuff going on. There are ways to get our playmakers open.
Kevin chimes in, 800-990-3776. Kyle needs a massive reality check on the status of this team. He lives in the fantasy land of ifs, not the actual reality of what this team is and what they've shown us.
Okay, this is my question for y'all, because everybody keeps saying that. And so I'm going to ask both of you two. I'm going to start with Bradley Nortman, because Brad played in the NFL. He saw some great teams, played on some great teams, played in a Super Bowl, played in an AFC Championship game. What is the reality of this football team after the full 18-game weeks schedule? What do you think the reality of this football team is going into the playoffs now?
I think they're a good team that finds themselves to be consistently dysfunctional. So do I think they can pull off the upset to Philadelphia? I think, like Jason said, there's a chance, but it's got to be a perfect game, and the Eagles need to give themselves a little bit away.
Jeremy in Florida, 800-990-3776. You're up on the Carbless Talk and Text line.
Hey, guys. How you doing today?
Good. Wish I was in Florida.
Hey, man. You guys, man, I want to talk about, the front office, man. Goody's been getting it right when it comes to, free agency and stuff, but our draft picks, the only ones that done good was Evan Williams and Edrin Cooper out of everybody. We got Caleb King on the practice squad. He won't move up. You got Tyron Harper. I was excited for him in the preseason. He looked good. He hasn't touched the field. We got Matt LaFleur making wrong decisions on coaching decisions. You got Jeff Hafley making wrong coaching decisions. You got people in the end zone when all they need is 15 yards and a field goal. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Jeremy, your concerns are heard.
Yeah, I mean,
here comes Kyle. Justification Kyle week.
I can't think of any reason to.
No, I mean, overall, has this rookie draft class popped? I mean, they've had some guys that have played well. I mean, there's probably 3 really good guys. Other than that, I will say Jordan Morgan. What the heck? Like, it sucks, right? Even with him getting hurt, he still wasn't going to play this year.
LVN?
Looks like Sean Ryan about LVN, but just specifically, like, overall, we know the first-round draft picks have not been his forte. We know outside of the first round has filled a lot of gaps and holes on his team. So.
Well, Chef Ed chimes in, stop with the jibber jabber. They're going to get blown out. So, I ask you, more likely they get blown out or compete? More likely they get blown out or compete?
Pack, Vi!
That didn't work when they played him in Brazil.
It's going back. We're going back, baby.
Going back would be a loss.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm going back to week 1 where I'm thinking about Vi, Pack, Vi, and Go, Pack, Go. I feel, honestly, I feel good.
That was the guy in the airport.
That feels like a long time ago.
Like last year.
It was last year.
4 months ago, yeah.
It's a dad joke. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous for anybody to think that a football team that hasn't been blown out this year, they're going to get blown out against the Eagles. Like they are not. We're acting like this team is trash. This is not a usual 7 seed, fellas. This is a 11-win, 7 seed football team, fellas. I just want y'all to know we are not garbage. We are not trash. This football
1-5 in the division and 4-0 against the AFC South. Your
care.
Green Bay Packers.
But they competed in every single game. Every single game this year.
How'd they compete yesterday?
What do you mean how'd they compete?
You said they were unengaged.
Yeah,
that in competition don't really go together.
They still found a way to have the lead with less than a minute left.
Your green and gold goggles are full force today, and I love it.
It's ridiculous that anybody that says the Packers are going to get blown out is living in the fact that they're just upset about what happened the last 2 weeks. That's not reality. If you think this Packers team is going to get blown out, please explain to me why.
I'm going to go off script here and make somebody's day. I'm going to give away a Screamin' Sicilian Pizza prize pack right now. 800-990-3776. I don't believe that I did one Friday. That's why I want to do one today on a loss. There's no Victory Monday. I don't get to talk about Palermo's as much as I want to, so we're going to make somebody happy. Caller 10 for Jordan Love, who needs to be electric against the Eagles, wins a Screamin' Sicilian Pizza prize pack courtesy of Palermo's Pizza. 800-990-3776. Caller 10, 800-990-3776. Your chance to win a Palermo's Pizza prize pack. We'll wrap up the ESPN Wisconsin portion of Kyle, Brust, and Nortman with you next.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
DKB, they get all my love, all my energy, and all my time. I'll be danged if GKB and Craig not going to allow me to take my half-an-hour boo-boo. If I need to do that, they need to allow me to do that.
That's your whole lunch break.
I don't even take a lunch break. I work during lunch.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Fingers come in different sizes.
It's one of the first things you learn as a jeweler.
And a ring can only be sized up or down a little bit.
Which means it's a really good thing to know your ring size.
And it's an even better thing to know their ring size.
This is why we're announcing
the Ring Size Registry at Kessler's.
We're doing it as a public service. It's completely free.
Free. Isn't that a great price?
Here's how it works.
Just drop into any Kessler's Diamonds location and tell one of the owners that you'd like to know your ring size.
Kessler's is an employee-owned company, so whoever greets you at the door is an owner.
They'll determine your ring sizes and add them to our Ring Size Registry.
Then, when someone wants to know your ring size...
Because, you know, maybe they want to surprise you.
All they have to do is call or stop into Kessler's.
Surprises can be fun, don't you think?
We're happy to do this for you, even if you don't buy a ring from us.
But after you take a look around, we think you probably will. Visit KesslersDiamonds.com for a location near you and register your ring sizes today.
This
is Monster Jam. Big air, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Fiserv Forum for 3 huge events January 10th through 11th.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. Number 8 Marquette used a 26-3 run between the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half to down Creighton 79-71 at Fiserv Forum. Senior guard Stevie Mitchell finished with 18 points, 14 coming in the first half, along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists.
Step back three is off the side of the backboard. Comes to Stevie Mitchell. He scores as it angled right to him. He makes about a 6-footer. Crazy follow.
The Golden Eagles moved to 13-2 overall and 4-0 in Big East play. They host Georgetown Tuesday night.
Don't miss the shot when it comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. Call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliate. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliate. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
With 8 locations in Madison, 1 in New Berlin, the Princeton Club is the place for you. Free childcare with the membership, open 24/7. Madison Hayes, 24, our ESPN Milwaukee social media correspondent, knows all about how great the Princeton Club is. I do as well. For the best rates of the year, get locked in now at the Princeton Club for a better tomorrow. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman.
Come and get your love this week, man. Get all this negativity out the door for the day, and the rest of the week, it needs to be all about love, baby.
This is good vibes. I can't wait for the moment in the week where it shifts to positive. It feels so negative right now.
Got to get off the chest.
You do. It's part of the healing process.
All right. Do we make a vow that in the 414 hour at 4, we get it all off our chests?
Yeah, we need to do that. It's healthy.
Do you have anything else? I know you're going to go all full Packer backer the rest of the week.
No.
Do you have anything else?
We got to talk about this defense and Jeff Hafley.
We need to talk about the defense according to Kyle Wallace. So that's going to be in 2 minutes. You got Jim, Matt, and Molly with the insufferable Bears fan wearing a Ditka sweater today. Jim Rutledge coming up at 4 o'clock with Jim, Matt, and Molly. You have the Damn Sports Show in Beaver Dam, and we have to have a serious, honest conversation about Jeff Hafley and this defense because Kyle needs to get off his chest before he goes all positive heading in to the Philadelphia Eagles Green Bay Packers wild card game. We're back in 2 minutes. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, 800-990-3776. We'll see you in 2 minutes.
What they want you to hear. Tell me it's cool. I just don't believe it.
We are seeing some delays now on westbound 94 between 27th Street and Hawley Road. General delays that are starting to build up a bit. Of course, southbound 43, we've got that pavement damage just south of between Mequon Road and the county line. Left lane is blocked. Now we've got delays stretching all the way back to Concordia, so give yourself that extra time. And then in Racine County, US 45 still closed in both directions at Plank Road. This is just south of Highway 20, so that's something to keep in mind if you're going to be heading through there. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Partly cloudy, a low of 17. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Wisconsin Lutheran boys basketball player Isaiah Mellock. The 6'2 senior guard spent his sophomore and junior seasons making a big impact on the varsity squad while coming off the bench mostly, but he was a part of last season's state title team. This year, however, the Vikings starting combo guard is showcasing his talent. Mellock is averaging over 12 points a game and is shooting 50% from beyond the arc, helping Wisconsin Lutheran to an undefeated start this season. That, of course, including big wins at the Rick Majerus WBY shootout, where he put up 18 points in a win over Marquette and earned MVP. Off the court, Isaiah boasts a 3.5 GPA and is looking to continue his basketball career once he graduates. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Isaiah Mellock.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
We them boys. We them boys.
It's the 414 hour at 4 on KBN.
This is your opportunity to get the negativity off the chest. I know Kyle's going to continue to find the Packer backer green and gold goggles. But apparently Brad and Kyle really want to have a conversation about this defense. 800-990-3776. And here's who I'm going to start with. Bradford.
Oh, that's right. I feel strongly about this, guys, to where I came on the show maybe 4 weeks ago, something like that, and I said, you know what? This defense isn't statistically that much better than Joe Barry's defense last year. And then Joshua DiMaggio, producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy in the morning, he came and talked about all these advanced statistics. It says EPA and things like that.
DVOA, that.
And
Cool.
Look, that's a real thing. I love me some statistics. I love statistics.
Cool. Yeah,
But
great, cool.
You know what I'm going to do all those? I'm going to pick up all those stats. I'm going to throw them out the window. I don't want to hear a stat about anything about this defense, good stats particularly, until they actually get a stop when it matters. I am done with comparisons. I'm done with stats. I'm done with saying, oh, this defense is improved. Until I see this defense actually get a stop when it matters, end of game, to secure a game, stop an opponent, that is when I'll finally say, maybe I'm seeing some improvement. But until then, turnovers, throw them out. Points per game, throw them out. If you can't make the stop when it matters to actually secure a win or to actually be able to get the ball back for your defense or for your offense to win a game, then none of it matters at all. That is when it matters most. So in the fact that the Packers had an opportunity, he will stop the Bears. The Bears, the terrible, putrid, as we talked about earlier, dysfunctional and toothless Bear offense where, Caleb Williams is just throwing bubble screens and they're trying to run the ball. No efficiency or ability to be effective whatsoever. And they go down the field and they get a field goal attempt. If the Packers can't stop the Bears in a game at the end of the game at Lambeau, the Bears, there's no way they're going to be able to stop the Eagles. So I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear about improved defense. I don't want to hear about stats, turnovers. I cannot hear it positively colored anymore until this team actually gets a stop when it matters. And their opportunity was yesterday. Elementary level stops against the Bears.
Caleb Williams sucks.
Caleb Williams sucks. Ha!
Caleb Williams sucks. Ha! And they still couldn't get the stop. And they still couldn't get the stop against Caleb Williams, who indeed sucks.
Yeah, I mean,
Caleb Williams sucks.
Yeah, Brad, you're absolutely right about this defense, and this is one thing that we have to understand is that had yesterday happened and Joe Barry was the defensive coordinator still.
Oh, Lord.
It would have been pitchforks to Insurrection Day, not in Washington. It would have been in Green Bay today had it been Joe Barry as the defensive coordinator still of this team. Because what happened yesterday at the end of the game was inexcusable, completely unacceptable. And I'm telling y'all, a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, and 7-year-old playing Madden football would have been able to figure out when it said timeout, this is a bad defensive play call. So this is why I'm so upset. The defense seemed like they were taking steps in the right direction, but we still have the lack thereof. We still have the lack of pass rush. We still have the lack of, as Brad said, the ability to make a play when we really need it. We still have the lack of actually being able to trust that this defense is going to actually save the day. So for me, overall, my disdain for this defense came all the way back yesterday watching that last play call because I could not believe my eyes. They got tricked, they got duped, and all of a sudden we saw them get a first down and they lost this football game. The defense played decently well yesterday, but when it really mattered, right, when you had to make a stop, the defensive coordinator and Jeff Hafley put our players in a poor position to try to make a play. So overall, the honeymoon is over. Jeff Hafley, you are now on the clock for us to have rage and anger against you because yesterday was unacceptable.
This is the Packer cycle. This is the Packer fan cycle. It always comes back to the defensive coordinator. Always does. Right or wrong. Strofe, you've been through this as a Packer fan your entire life. Kyle, have you seen anything different when it comes to the Green Bay Packers?
No.
No. But I like this guy. A little bit better than the other
I like him too, but dang it, yesterday was pathetic. What
the hell was that?
I'm confused. Nobody knows. Carrington Valentine said, I was just doing what I was told. Brother, listen, I'm going to need a little Jair in you. Not just talking. Jair would have said, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Put somebody just one person in the middle of the field. Would have been a little bit better, right? I don't know.
It was
Send
unbelievable.
pressure to the guy who panics if there's even no pressure.
I mean, that's tough in that situation, but I hear you.
Something, again, this is the conversation of like, do something different. Don't keep doing the same things. Like, okay, fine, they get up the field a little bit. Mix it up. Don't keep doing the same damn thing. It's the coaching staff's inability to adjust in those scenarios in the game when you need them most to do so.
It was crazy. I mean, the one play you couldn't give up, you gave it up. Like the one thing you couldn't do, you did exactly that.
Give it up. They said, here, take it. I'm so serious. They said, here, we're going to put everybody on that. Ooh, let me call a timeout. This looks tricky. And then they actually had the audacity. Jeff Hafley took the time to talk to his coaching staff and said, all right, so we're going to do is they're going to trick us on this one side, and we're going to put everybody on that one side, and then we're going to leave a receiver, DJ Moore, by himself, and let's tell our corner to play outside leverage and leave the middle completely open because all they need to do is get like 12 yards. And if they get 12 yards to get the first down, that's okay. They didn't score a touchdown. They had 3 guys in the back. Bro, if you literally tackle him in front of the first down line, they have to rush to kick a field goal. They didn't have any timeouts left. So they would have to rush to get the field goal team on there to try to kick a field goal. Like, that's what they would have had to do in that small amount of time. It was impossible.
It's almost like they forgot you can get a first down and spike it. It's almost like they thought, if we just tackle him in bounds, game over. Well, that's not that easy. You can get the first down, rush, and snap it. Usually needs something like 10 seconds to be able to do that. They had like 14.
It was embarrassing.
What else you got in Kyle?
No, we just, honestly, yesterday when that happened, because that whole football game was just weird. But when that happened, I said we deserve to lose that football game. We do. The Chicago Bears are trash. They deserve to have this terrible victory, whatever they want to do. If this is going to make their year fantastic. But us blowing the covers like that and allowing that to happen against the Chicago Bears, we deserve that. We really do. We deserve to lose yesterday based off the way that we play called and the way that we coach yesterday.
Well, and they just never have the awareness. They never get the stop. They never make the play when it matters. And you could say, well, what about the fumble on the drive before? That was kind of given to them, right? I mean, it was sort of a sloppy ball carrier. So they made a stop there, which I suppose. But with this team, but with this team, with the Chicago Bears, there is zero, and I mean zero excuse, because the only times they scored was a punt return for a touchdown, and then when the
turnover,
Packers fumbled,
Jaden Reed fumble.
and they had a short. I mean, you're talking about an offense that can't move the ball. They cannot move the ball and score points, and they did exactly that when you had to stop them. And once again, shocker, it's the same old story. You hit the button, it repeats, you click, whirl, and you watch the same movie over again.
But Brad, you did watch the same movie over again. It was just a different ending. This happened the last time. It's just the fingertip was saved. But the last time, Roma Dunze, I believe, made a nice catch on the sideline the first time. Happened again. Like the Green Bay Packers allowed for the Chicago Bears and a rookie quarterback in Caleb Williams, who we all know Caleb Williams does suck. At least this year he was sucky, and his team Caleb Williams sucks. You allow for them to drive down the field and get in field goal range to win 2 possible games. It's pathetic.
Caleb Williams sucks, but he has a game-winning drive in Lambeau Field.
It's awful.
Oh. Hey, what are you doing?
He's a Bears fan now.
What are you doing back there?
What do you mean? I'm just stating.
You're throwing in some weird nuggets
just
today.
Stating a fact. Stating a fact.
Alex Strofe, we've spent a lot of time dissecting the frustrations and negativity. I know you got it off your chest in Mr. Irrelevant on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee at 12:30, I'm sure.
Yeah, good little therapy session.
What is your therapy? What is your biggest thing right now that you've needed to get off your chest in order to feel some positive momentum heading into the rest of the week?
Yeah, I'm curious if Matt LaFleur got a lobotomy at some point this season. What happened to him? Like, what was that yesterday? Absolute incompetence when it comes to time management. Incompetence when it comes to some of the play calling. It was almost like he was doing the hokey pokey yesterday, right? 1 foot in, 1 foot out in terms of what he wanted the game plan to be, right?
Like that.
Are we going for the win? Are we going for the 6th seed? Or are we not? Do we want the starters to play or do we not? Right foot in, right foot out. I had no idea what they were going for yesterday. It made no sense.
It was confusing to you. It was confusing to me. It was confusing to Kyle. It was confusing to Brad. I guarantee it was confusing to the players.
It was confusing to Matt LaFleur. He woke up that morning. He didn't know what he was going to do.
That's what I'm saying. What happened?
And I do love me some Matt LaFleur.
I do too.
I
love Matt LaFleur.
But the fact that Romeo Doubs being sick led to you saying, well, Christian, we weren't going to play you today, but go ahead and suit up. What are we doing? Like what?
Okay,
what
hold on.
Time
out on that one. You can never predict that. If he was cleared to play, I get it.
I know. No.
He's a football player. He wanted to play.
According to Jason Wilde,
I understand.
He was not going to play. So Romeo Doubs.
To Kyle's point, if that is in his head, then stick to it and just say, we're not playing.
Saying, as a coach, it's just like, we don't need you. We got other guys that we can call for. Malik Heath made great plays yesterday. Bo Melton, he played well last year against the Chicago Bears. I'm just saying, like, at that point, if you in your head are game planning saying, hey, we're gonna sit you out and get you ready for the playoffs, just sit them out and get them ready for the playoffs. But again, Matt LaFleur is an imposter when it comes to imposter syndrome. He doesn't believe in his own decisions. He should have made a decision and said, we're going to stick with it. Bo is going to be your day.
What was his decision is the question. I think we're all doing this is like.
I still don't know. I still don't know what his plan was.
I think his perfect plan was he tried to middle it. He tried to do we need some rhythm. We need to get up against the Bears because they're incompetent.
He wanted to be a 14 or 17-0 at halftime and then pull everybody.
Correct.
I assume is what he wanted.
He tried to middle it. And middling never works anything in life. When are you like, maybe we should do this, maybe do that, and it works out the way that you want it to. Especially when it comes to injuries, right? When it comes to injuries, when you're thinking, I can go, should I not go? If you're double thinking everything you do, that's usually not a recipe for success. The same way that we talked about Dan Campbell. As much as we make fun of him for going on it for 4th down, what does that team know they're going to do every time?
Going for it.
They're going for it.
Stand on business. That's what we need to be doing. Matt LaFleur needs to say, y'all, I wasn't standing on business this week, but I promise you this. From here on out, we standing on business.
I think
win or lose, we standing on business.
I think Matt LaFleur should get like an arm sleeve or something. I mean, like a tattooed arm sleeve. We need badass Matt LaFleur in the playoffs. Ooh. That's what we need. So I don't know if a tattoo,
angry Matt LaFleur?
Not angry necessarily, but badass Matt LaFleur, right? A guy that's going to come in.
That's even more of being an imposter. That's trying to pretend you're a badass.
I want Matt LaFleur to
stop getting your eyebrows cured. No, get a tattoo.
I want him to. I want him to literally forget about everything on the outside. Forget about whether your job security, which you should have great job security. You should just be focused on coaching free. Last year, Matt LaFleur at some point finally decided to coach free, and his team responded excellently. This year, they played a little bit, uptight in some bigger games, and the results were what? Losses in big games. So overall, I think Matt LaFleur again needs to take a look in the mirror and say, who am I? And he needs to figure that out quickly because it ain't just about this season. Because if the Packers don't win a Super Bowl this year, that's okay. But if the Packers don't win a Super Bowl in these next 4 seasons, that's not okay.
John in Oconomowoc, 800-990-3776. You are up on the Carb List talking text line.
John, what a 24-hour period it's been. Holy cow. You gotta pull LaFleur from play calling. He can't do all of it.
No, not doing that.
All right, Stroh for the quick trigger, but I'm going to hear John for the 4 seconds that he was on, and I'm going to respond to, I think the solution has already been handled. You don't take him off of play calling. Josh DiMaggio had the suggestion. He needs the time management, play clock, timeout, challenge person next to him. You know how they have the coach, the holdback guy for the coaches? Matt LaFleur needs like a mini-me next to him.
What are we doing? We're trying to put kid gloves on an established, really successful NFL head coach?
What?
But he might have just a little too much on his plate now.
We're being a little overreacting.
We need to free him to do what he's best, and that's just call plays.
Okay, then you want him to be an offensive coordinator.
Yep, sounds good.
That's what you're saying. You want him to be the offensive coordinator.
No,
right? Let's stop treating this guy with kid gloves. He was in the first 4 years of his head coaching tenure. He won more games than anybody else.
He also decided to kick a field goal to make a one-score game against the Buccaneers in an NFC Championship game.
Sometimes you got to catch some blows on the chin, right? And that's what he's done the last couple of years. He's made crucial mistakes.
Has he improved at those mistakes making?
Brad, it's hard to tell because this is a very different team than he was working with 2 years ago, right? So let's give him the opportunity Sunday. If he comes in and he screws things up, right? If he makes a bad decision in terms of time management or timeouts or challenges or what have you, then maybe we can go ahead and say, all right, maybe it's time to have the conversation.
Listen,
but let's chill the hell out on making him the offensive coordinator and hiring a new head coach or hiring a little assistant.
You can do all this talking that you want to do. Everybody is being extreme right now. But I'm going to tell you this right now. The only thing that solves this, because we're always going to remember the bad and all the good moments that he had, making good decisions at the end. Nobody cares about that. At this point of time of where this franchise is, where this team is, only thing Matt LaFleur can do to cure all this is win a Super Bowl. And until he does that, every mistake that he makes when it comes to time management, play calling, everybody's always going to rip him because the only thing that stops us from talking is hoisting a Lombardi trophy. So until then, Matt, you got to...
I even give him a pass if he gets the Super Bowl.
Hell no. I want a Super Bowl. No, he'll get a pass for almost without winning.
You got such...
Brad, wait a minute. No, Brad.
Yeah, he's got to win a big game.
No,
I'm
Brad,
with you there.
Brad, you played for the Panthers who went to a Super Bowl, and you played for an AFC champion, or almost a team that went to the AFC championship.
Yeah.
Are either of those coaches still there? Did they get passes because they lost in the Super Bowl?
That was 10 years ago.
No, that don't matter. They didn't get passes forever. They eventually fired Ron Rivera, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And Doug Marrone, that was your coach, or no?
Yeah, they fired him a couple seasons later.
And that's all I'm saying. And Matt LaFleur, how much I love you. If your ass only get to a Super Bowl and never win, guess where you going to be?
Like Ron Rivera and Doug Marrone?
Somewhere else.
Oof.
We'll get to your calls and your reaction. Kyle, I think you're doing a good job getting it all off your chest.
I love Matt LaFleur. I do. I do.
Really felt like that the whole time.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
When I'm, again, doing the Pack Arena, and as a shareholder, when I'm sizing up my ring,
do the Pack Arena right now.
1 pack of 2, pack of 3, pack of arena.
Hey.
What's the rest of the words? Jordan love to Christian Watson. Nay, that's a touchdown.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound on 43, big delays right now. We have some pavement that started to break up right around Donjas Bay Road, and that's got backups pretty much stretching almost all the way back to the Highway C area, Pioneer Road. So careful with that area. We do have also a crash on the bypass heading southbound just past Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. Still working on this accident in Racine. North and southbound Highway 45, U.S. Highway 45, closed at Plank Road. This is just south of Highway 20 in Yorkville, all because of a crash there. And then on westbound 94, a little bit of a backup right from about 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by James Imaging Systems, your local document imaging partner, dedicated to helping businesses do business better. Visit jamesimaging.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, partly cloudy skies with a low of 17. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 26. Weather's brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Romeo,
This 3-syllable, you have to take the O out of the equation. That's too easy.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Iota, right? Not one iota. Iota.
Yeah, that's only 4 letters.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
Let's pretend you're a first-time listener to Wilde and Tausch. What the hell is this? They're discussing syllables.
On 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The green and gold and playoff football. Are you going to be ready come game time? HD TVs in every room. Check. Green and gold flag out front. Check. Grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, cheesehead. Check, check, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to complete your own personal playoff party. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal playoff party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Main in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2.
Discount Liquor.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizon, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Last Friday night, yeah, we did some tabletops, and we took too many shots. Think we kissed, but I forgot.
You know the place to safeguard your money and so much more. This time of day, you're clocking out, you're earning that paycheck. It's time that paycheck does a little bit of earning for you. There's no better place to do that than my friends at Bank 59. Bank 59 stands for 1859 when the bank started. You don't last that long if you're not doing things right. And they're doing everything right. Their mission statement, make lives better. What other local community bank is focused on making lives better in their community, for their customers, for their employees, for everybody? Bank 59 is multiplying, they're growing. You can grow your money alongside with them. 14 branch locations, and their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. They are so focused on helping you, their customers, their employees, and the surrounding southeastern Wisconsin community. They are truly a true local community bank. Bank 59 is making lives better everywhere across southeastern Wisconsin. See how they can make your life better. Check out bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, Mr. Irrelevant, it's time to become relevant. Stroph's time to shine on KBN starts now.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Bradley Nortman. We are the Kyle Brust and Nortman of the show. Whoa, whoa. That's our producer doing a great job, and it's time for his segment.
Katy Perry.
Yeah. I don't know my pop stars.
Take it over, Alex, please.
You got it, Mark or Benjamin or whatever your name is.
Marv.
No, not Marv. Earlier this weekend, while Nebraska and UCLA were going head-to-head on the Fox Sports Network, Tim Brando was reminiscing on an epic shot hit by some former Wisconsin basketball player. Take a listen.
Terrific individual defensive effort from Sam Hoiberg. That play reminded me a little bit of Matt Brust.
Matt Brust, everybody. Kyle, Matt, and Nortman.
That was hilarious.
What an impression you made.
That sucks. Wow. Defensive performance, and I'm the coach's kid?
Okay, a couple things. Number one, didn't Bo Ryan say you're the worst defender he ever coached?
No. He said I was the worst defender that ever came to his program. And then I made the most improvements because there was so much improvement to make. Now, this happened one time with Bill Raftery. And I was a sophomore, and I was the sixth man, and we were in Big Ten play. The reason why I didn't play as a freshman is because I couldn't guard a soul. Then as a sophomore, when we got to Big Ten play, the rotation gets a little tightened, but I still was sixth man. I came in, and he's like, this Ben Brust in here, the coach is telling me this guy's the defensive stopper.
Oh.
And I got texts from a bunch of people that were they talking about you?
Wow.
Yeah, so Sam Hoiberg, Ben Brust, defensive stars.
So two things from that clip. Number one, he said back in the day.
Ooh.
Yeah, you're a has-been, buddy.
How about that?
It's my 11th year out of college.
He said back in the day, and then he got your name wrong. Yeah. That's not only one blow below the belt, that's a double blow below the belt.
And the sad part is I had a conversation with Brando when he did our games, if that makes sense. One of those where they talk to the players to get the insight, and they use the insight on the broadcast. Didn't make a strong enough impact. Matt Brust, everybody.
But after all these years, at least you got your last name right.
Yeah.
You could have just said, hey, that one guy at Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's good.
Chef Ed chimes in, be more like Matt.
Be more like Matt.
Matt probably would have won a national
like
championship.
Brad.
Why are you coming at me now?
Dang,
just because your Packers lost doesn't mean you have to come at me.
Yeah, just catching us.
Kyle, I'm just going to give you the floor to go after me because this happened on Friday. I didn't want to talk about it. We haven't talked about it, but we probably need to talk about it. Here's us on Friday. For the second time this season, I say there is a 0% chance the Chicago Bears beat the Green Bay Packers on Sunday.
Do you dress up like anybody else if they lose like you?
I will run back the Mike Ditka one. I will show up here, gray mustache, old
vest,
suit, cigar, sometime next week.
It's got to be the Bears vest.
Dude,
I'll find you one.
Malik Willis will play on Sunday, and Malik Willis will get his 4th win of the season.
Boy, that's ice cold. It was on Sunday.
That's so bad.
Didn't do any of it either. Packers didn't win, and you didn't
Malik
show
Willis
up.
did play.
But he didn't get his 4th win.
No, I didn't. So how do we want to handle this?
When you get in the vest. I saw Jim Rutledge. I literally see Jim Rutledge on our Madison stream, on our mirrored screen, Strofe, wearing it right now.
Allegedly Friday? But I don't want to kick off Wild Card Weekend like that.
Ooh.
Can we wait until the season's over? I'd like to ask for an extension.
Maybe when we unbury the time capsule.
Oh.
For those who've missed
when
it.
are we doing that? After the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's
no,
cold
as soon as the Packers season is over.
It's supposed to snow too.
Oh boy.
So for those who've missed it, we've had submissions come in from KBN Nation. Everyone around the office filled it out. We have about 80 to 100 pieces of paper, saran wrapped, which looks very, very suspicious. We dug a hole in my backyard, and the predictions of the Green Bay Packers season rest in the backyard of my household.
I actually forgot we even did that. Do you look back in your backyard?
Oh, every single day that I take the dogs out, I walk by that area to see if any squirrel or anything's dug up on the ground.
Did the grass end up growing over it?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
You see that?
I thought we did a pretty good job leveling it out.
We did.
We're not grass growers here. Me and Ben are more of
what are you?
Maintainers?
Yeah, we're not.
Are you even that?
We're not good house husbands.
Shout out to Weed Man, who was at the.
Ooh, I can't wait to the Weed.
They were at the Tundra Trio houses up in Green Bay, and they said that we're going to take care of your lawn, Ben. I'm working on Kyle and Brad. We got to take care of me first.
Wait a minute. We were told I've been telling everybody, look, don't worry about my backyard. I got the Weed Man coming to my backyard. I cannot wait. I know you ain't made me a liar.
So Ben, you do remember where you buried it?
I do, 100%.
Because I just went in the our personal time capsule and I found this.
5 panels to the right.
Capsule is in 4 to 5 panels in, 1 foot away from the fence.
So That is exactly where I look. And
It's like a treasure map right there.
It is.
X marks the spot.
Does anybody have the Packers kicker at the end of the season right? Anybody have Brandon McManus?
God, no.
That would have been an unbelievable call.
I'm pretty sure I put Anders Carlson, which was just dead wrong.
Oh, stupid.
Who'd you put?
Doug, you think I can remember who I put?
You don't remember the kicker?
Probably Braden Narveson.
I put Graham Gano.
Did you really?
I put for like a hope
that's
that maybe he'd join the program then weekly.
All right, fellas, the greatest Week 18 game ever was not the greatest Week 18 game ever. Lions 31, Vikings 9. I know, Benny, you said that proves to you the Packers are nowhere near the top of the NFC.
Because of how the Lions adjusted their entire game plan to shut the Vikings down.
Do you think anybody in the NFC has a chance against Detroit?
Philly.
Philly has a chance.
Not
Philly's-
not after Sunday when they're eliminated.
Philly's physical enough. Like, their front four is probably the best
So
in the
what
NFC.
you're saying is if the Packers win Sunday, it's the Lions.
Yeah.
Remember last year when y'all were talking about how if the Packers, whoever wins the Packers and the 49ers game is going to the Super Bowl and you guys overlooked the Lions? Boy, it just changes so quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, but we jumped on the Lions bandwagon pretty early, and we've been pretty right on that.
I said preseason that I think Lions are the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, I'm not saying I think they're a really good football team, too.
I'm waiting for them to drop off. It makes no sense. How can you lose that many studs and still be playing at the level they are? I mean,
culture, identity.
Yeah, they dismantled
coaching.
the Vikings, and the Vikings make the Packers look like JV. It's unbelievable.
Wow, JV.
Wow.
Boy, this is shots
That might be
fired.
too strong. But they do.
They
beat them
kind of
twice,
did.
and-
Oh, my
In Week
gosh.
17, you were really proud of the Packers' performance?
No, I wasn't proud of the Packers' performance, but you guys are just, like, we're just chopping liver
In a de
over here
facto
in Green
playoff
Bay.
game, the Lions routed them shorthanded.
Yeah,
It's
the Lions
nuts.
looked really good yesterday.
Yeah, they did. They did. All right, last thing for you fellas. Known as Black Monday today is all the coaches across the NFL being fired. Couple earlier in the season, one yesterday. Only one today, actually. Doug Peterson of the Jaguars. 5 openings in the NFL. Tell me which one is the most appealing. The New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, Brad's Jacksonville Jaguars, the Chicago Bears, and the New England Patriots. Those are your 5 openings. Jets, Saints, Jags, Bears, Pats. What's the most appealing opening?
It's between the Saints or the Pats. If you believe in Drake May as a franchise quarterback, you're going to get resources. It's the Patriots. The Saints, I take that back. It's probably the Patriots because of Drake May.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jags or New England.
Is that because they cut your paychecks?
It helps.
Okay.
It certainly helps. But they have a capable quarterback. They've got some cap room. They've got some studs. A couple of years ago, they're in the playoffs. New England, I like Drake May a lot, so I think that they have the capability to grow. They got good owners, right, between both Shad Khan and...
Good owner.
He's a good owner.
No,
He forgot the second owner's name.
I'm like
Robert Kraft?
Robert Kraft.
Yeah, what I had last week passed over to you.
Did you know that we played the Patriots in a preseason game, so we practiced there one time, and so he walked out on the specialist field, and he said, "Hey" to me. I shook Robert Kraft's hand. He said, "Welcome to New England, young fella." I said, "Thank you, Mr. Kraft."
Oh, he thought you played for the team. He see now.
Oh, God. Do that. He's super short, by the way.
Thank you.
But very gentlemanly, very grandfather.
Hold on.
I saw her. He's very gentlemanly when he went down to Miami.
800-990-3776, the Carbless talking text
Nobody's
line. That's
picking the
it
Bears?
for becoming relevant.
No.
Honestly,
That
Nobody's
crazy
picking the
ownership.
Bears?
no.
Virginia McCaskey's still alive. They won on her 102nd birthday.
102 yesterday. Happy birthday, Virginia.
I'll
Jenny?
also go into Patriots as well, but I think the Giants are interesting because they have a high pick, get a quarterback in there, have a good receiver.
But the Giants kept their coach.
The Giants.
It's the Jets.
Oh,
Yeah, the
Jets,
Giants are-
never
Aaron
mind.
Rodgers? Want Aaron Rodgers back for another year?
No, I don't want to touch the Jets, even though they have a great defense that didn't show up. It's confusing.
Brian Balaga scheduled to appear at 4:40, 4:45. We will get to our polls and hear from you, KBN Nation, 800-990-3776. And as we do so, Kyle, you tell us.
Oh, I want to tell you about windows, and those windows from Universal Windows Direct. Shout out to my boy Jamie. Jamie came to the crib. He hooked your boy up. I mean, I'm telling you. And what they do when they come to the house, I'm telling you, all you got to do is make a phone call. You make a phone call, and they'll be there the next day. Yes, the next day. And they come in, they'll give you a great consultation, and they'll show you exactly what fits the needs of your home. So if your house is cold, if your house is drafty, do not burr and be cold through this winter anymore. Call my friends at Universal Windows Direct, and always remember they have great offers there as well. They have an amazing deal right now where you can buy 2 windows and get the next 2 free. Yes, buy 2 windows and get the next 2 absolutely free with no limit and 36 months of no interest financing. That's 3 years to pay your windows without 1 single cent of interest. Plus, if you've already received a quote from another company, bring it to Universal Windows Direct and they'll beat it. Yes, they will beat it. That is their commitment to giving you the best quality and the best value for your home. So don't wait. Call them today at 414-410-2000. That's 414-410-2000 to schedule your free in-home estimate, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. And like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
More next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
I'm a seam head now. You can call me whatever you want.
Oh, seam head.
I don't even know what that is. You have to
That means I'm a baseball dork. All I do is sit and watch MLB Big Inning at night.
Seam head.
I've never heard that before.
This is because you're not a seam head.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Southbound on 43 in Ozaukee County, we have some pavement damage between Mequon Road and the county line, right around Donges Bay Road. They have the left lane blocked because of this, so that is making for big backup, stretching all the way back almost to the Cedarburg exit, the Highway C. So watch out for that. Westbound 94 backing up from about 25th Street all the way through to Mitchell Boulevard. Southbound on 894, we've got an accident south of Beloit Road off on the right shoulder. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 17. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Milwaukee Bucks youth basketball camps and clinics are the perfect place for your child to develop their basketball skills in an interactive team environment. Our 4-week Little Dribblers camps are back in action this winter and open to kids ages 4 to 10. Every Little Dribblers participant will receive a jersey, Bucks youth basketball branded ball, ticket to a home game, and a chance to show their skills at Fiserv Forum during the 24-25 season. To learn about upcoming programs, visit bucks.com/youthbasketball.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm. Visit and enjoy a taste taste or 2 or 3 at a historic whiskey distillery, and we'll even stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and so many more. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion. Flights, the meals, the hotels, the experiences. Don't worry about it. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss out. Text HOMER to 800-990-3776 for full information. That's HOMER to 800-990-3776.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
There is a common misbelief today in this world that to make it further, you need to push yourself, that you need to give up any joy to continue on with your rigid routine, or you could try another way. Take some time to enjoy life, like having a wonderful Michelob Ultra with friends, because happiness is essential to living an exceptional life. Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and grains and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Michelob Ultra, it's only worth it if you enjoy it. An official partner of the Milwaukee Bucks. Enjoy responsibly. Strophy bringing the vibes up here. Is it all off your chest, Kyle? Because Brian Bulaga is next. You have 4 or 5 minutes here to get all your negativity out. It is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Milwaukee.
I don't think I've been the one that's been super negative today. I'm not going to sit here and
You've had your outbursts like a child.
I had my outbursts because, not like a child, like an adult that just saw a disaster and an atrocity on the football field yesterday where I cannot believe the coverage that they play. And I know, we talk about this, and Brad, this may sound disrespectful to you, but hear me out.
Okay, easy now.
Kyle Wallace could have been the defensive coordinator on that last play, could have called a better play. I could have just went out there and said, fellas, just go man to man and just make sure you tackle in front of the sticks. That's it. That's all I care about. That would have been a better play call than what they had yesterday. So that's what I'm upset about. But what I do want Packers fans to understand is that we cannot allow our emotions.
And Kenny Clark.
Now, Kenny Clark, to be honest, I didn't even know the dude played yesterday. Let's be real. Who was watching the game yesterday? For real, when somebody said Kenny Clark named to me, or I saw somewhere on the internet, I said, oh, yeah. Did he play? I dead serious. I was like, did Kenny Clark play yesterday? And I'm sure a lot of people said the exact same thing. So that's what I'm upset at in Matt LaFleur. But overall, I'm not going to allow for anything that happened yesterday, right? The one game against the Chicago Bears where our starting quarterback basically did not play, where our starting running back basically did not play, where our head coach made a mistake by being so indecisive throughout the week and deciding on what are we going to do. Are we going to go for the 6th seed, go for the win, or we're going to rest our guys? That all led to a poor performance on Sunday afternoon. So don't allow for this one game to blind us from the fact that we are a very good football team. And when we go into Sunday, understand that we are the underdogs, but we can win that game on Sunday. So I'm not going to be negative with this football team. I'm not going to allow a loss to the Bears to make me feel like
Kenny Clark had a solo tackle.
Oh, okay, good for him.
Surprising.
I missed it.
You know, we've touched on almost everybody to give out blame for how Sunday went. And Jordan Love is someone that also deserves a little bit. So he got injured and then rightfully kept out of the game. But he's been off a little bit for a couple weeks now, right? Even yesterday when he wasn't, a little bit inaccurate, a little bit off his spot. He's going to need to be playing at a Pro Bowl, All-Pro type level if the Packers are going to have a chance to beat the Eagles. I mean, he really is. You can't rely on this defense. Yes, Josh Jacobs will be able to get the offense going a little bit, but now without Christian Watson, Jordan Love is going to have to absolutely cook for them to have a chance. And I think the reason why, I think when Jason Wilde joined, he was like, well, hold on. This team's going to the playoffs. Why are we so negative? I think when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, especially with like Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, when you're a coach or you're a parent, you get most frustrated at the kids that have a high level of potential but don't reach it. I think that's how we feel about the Green Bay Packers. We see them, whether it be Matt LaFleur or Jordan Love, these playmakers, the defense, we see this great potential, and we don't see them reaching that potential. It's been inconsistent up and down, and we're just thinking to ourselves, when is that potential going to be reached? And we have to wonder, is it ever going to be reached this season, or are we looking ahead to 2025? So I think for me, I'm looking for that. So can the Packers beat the Eagles? Yes, they can, but they're going to have to actually play to their potential, which they have done incredibly infrequently this whole season. It's there, We just need to see it actually come together on the field.
Do you believe it will?
No.
Do you believe it will?
Yeah, I think there's an opportunity. It's Monday, fellas, okay? We got to watch the film. We got to see what comes out.
Watching film.
What we heard was Jalen Hurts is still suffering from a concussion. We understand that concussions are something serious to deal with.
Week. It's only Monday.
It's only, so we got to see what happens. I want to hear about Jordan Love feeling good in that elbow. I want to hear about, Romeo Doubs coming back. I just want to hear some things that come out to help me make up my overall decision and how I feel. But I do understand that it's an uphill battle against the Eagles on Sunday. But again, like I said all year, the Green Bay Packers have competed week in and week out, and I don't expect anything different on Sunday. So it's probably going to come down to a one-score game. Will the defense make a stop? Will Matt LaFleur make the right decision? Will Jordan Love make the right decision as well to lead the Packers to victory? To be seen.
I'm heading over to the KBN ESPN sports desk.
Smooth.
What do you got?
That's when you say thanks.
What do you got?
Matt LaFleur saying today, Brian Gutekunst could take a look at the free agent market to fill the 2 roster spots that will be left by Jair Alexander and Christian Watson, preferably somebody that knows their system. I have no idea what that means.
I was hoping you were going to provide some names. You're like, here's the update.
Who's eligible? Someone that ended week 18,
not on a
free
team.
agent,
right?
So they couldn't go get Devontae,
no,
obviously, because he ended the season on a team.
David Bakhtiari, but why would they need him? Adrian Amos, they don't need safety depth. Tremont Williams, I think, is still out there if they need a corner.
Come on now, Tremont got to be 40, right?
Probably. Yeah.
We are scooping.
May as well put Kyle out there.
I just I have no idea what that means. Is my issue.
That is very
interesting
cryptic.
little tidbit from Matt LaFleur earlier today.
That is interesting. That is something that would have been great for Jason Wilde. Rob joins tomorrow, right?
Sure does.
Oh, I can't wait.
No,
to
he
ask
doesn't.
Rob.
Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Oh, he joins.
Sure
Wednesday.
doesn't. Old T knows the NFL free agents off the top of his head.
Sure.
Brian Balaga joins us
Did you
next.
just ask me if it was Thursday?
No, Strofe. I asked you off air a question.
What was the question?
Rob joins us on Wednesdays, right?
Yes, after Here Brett out.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
You said Thursday.
I said, does he join us Wednesday? Does he join us Thursday? And
you guys are wasting my time.
He is wasting the time.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Yeah, let them do it. I ain't doing it.
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
No, come on.
Just mine.
Homer, come on.
Yo, fuck, I should be doing this time. I should be 2-6. That good enough for you? You need any more?
That's fair.
Need any more? One?
Us?
Yeah. Y'all
2, 3, 4.
You're all the same.
There we
Nobody's
go.
as good as me.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. What happens when you mix a 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry. Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two. I got it. I did not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Confidence and strength begin with how you feel. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, it is not about just looking good. It's about results that last and empower you. With 5 convenient locations in Delafield, Mequon, Brookfield, Middleton, and Sheboygan, their team of world-class plastic surgeons, skilled clinicians, and expert estheticians are here to help you take control. Whether it's advanced skincare, anti-aging treatments, body contouring, or muscle strengthening, Quintessa has everything you need to sharpen your image and boost your confidence. Take the first step towards a stronger, more confident you. Visit myquintessa.com today.
Men's wedding bands made from whiskey barrels and meteorites.
Welcome to Kessler's.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, and Michelle Smallman.
Did this change the feeling around the Lions right now with that dominant victory?
I think it changed the feeling around the Minnesota Vikings more so than the Lions. And what I will say is this, Alex Anzalone makes a huge difference for that Lions defense. They bowed up, especially in the red zone, held the Minnesota Vikings to only 3 points in 12 red zone plays, which is absolutely phenomenal. Minnesota last night was 0-4 in the red zone. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. So for that unit that has been much maligned and been depleted because of injuries, being able to get that key cog and Alex Anzalone in the middle of that defense, a captain, a communicator, I thought it was huge for them. Now you're looking at this Detroit Lions defense under Aaron Glenn. They've got difference makers on all 3 levels of that unit. And this is a Lions team that's not only going to get back to where they ended last season, but they have a chance to play for it all on them New Orleans.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Menards is the one-stop shop for huge savings on new energy-efficient appliances. Upgrade your home today and save big on top appliance brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. We carry the largest in-stock selection of home appliances starting at the lowest prices and ready to take home today. Check out our entire selection of home appliances on Menards.com. Plus, get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag. See store for complete details.
Save big money at Menards.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this
Potawatomi Casino Hotel is the best place for you to place a sports wager and enjoy the 2,000 square foot video wall. Seating for over 200. The restaurant known as The Kitchen. Enjoy paysbig.com/sportsbook. Build your bets. It doesn't get any better than Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Brian Blog, I tell you what, we had a fun conversation with Homer in the break. You're in for a treat from 5 to 6. Welcome into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
How we doing, guys? I can't wait. It's always a treat with Homer. So
Well,
I can't
you
wait.
know what, Homer? I'd like for you to tell Brian how you feel about the
stupidest time management by an NFL coach in the history of the NFL, other than possibly all the things that happened to the Bears this year.
Your thoughts,
It's
Brian?
impossible to screw it up like he did. And I'll say it to Brian. Imagine having a flip of the coin and you have both heads and tails, and you lose.
Lands right on the side.
But it's
We
all
could
a
talk.
good thing. It's all a good thing. I think it's a great thing.
What?
Everybody on that team is embarrassed and irritated and ashamed with what happened, which has to make them play
You can
better
start,
against
you can start
Philadelphia.
pointing fingers then, though, which is also not a good thing going into a playoff game.
Oh, Brian, do you think this is something that could fire this football team up, being embarrassed yesterday against the Chicago Bears, with them, everybody's kind of, calling each other out? Do you think this could lead into some good momentum going into Sunday?
Well, I certainly think it should be a little bit of a rallying cry, right? I mean, I think at this point in the season, you drop 2 straight against division opponents, you end the season in probably not the fashion you want. I think you want to go into the playoffs in a positive manner, and that game, unfortunately, the way it panned out, no matter any way you look at it, was not a way to end the season. So you got to find a way to spin it. And the way to spin it is to kind of use it as motivation and chip on the shoulder to go into next week, because you got to find something out of that to pull into next week. Because you can't look at the tape and go, man, that was a really good performance to bring into Philly, because it wasn't. So you got to find something else out of it to draw from to take into Philadelphia.
Brian Balaga joining us here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Brian, people are searching. Today's a very negative day, and I understand why. But people are searching for reasons to be optimistic that they can beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Say Jalen Hurts is full strength. What % chance do you give the Packers to win the game?
I mean, listen. I mean, I didn't give Chicago much of a chance to beat us yesterday, And look what happened. So, like, that's why I always tell Homer when he asked me on, like, Monday, like, what do you think the Bears are going to win? And I said, there's always a chance the Bears win. And they won, right? So, like...
Well, Brian, real quick. I mean, a weird 6-7 seed, Week 18, rest guys, not rest guys situation versus a playoff game, I don't think is comparable.
I mean, we weren't really resting anyone. We were forced to rest people, unfortunately, as that game went on.
See, I mean, we discussed this as well. Like that to us, or at least to me and Brad, felt like a problem. It felt like there was a lack of plan. You either are going and like you have the message of like the fact that Jason Wilde's talking about how Romeo Doubs was sick, and then he said, Christian Watson, we're gonna play you now. Like that, like it was like toe in, toe out. You did the hokey pokey. Was that you, Strophy?
Yeah, it was me.
It felt like there was a lack of plan on how to approach Week 18, and it's all hindsight, but it just felt like everything was off from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I can definitely see it from, like, I understand where you're coming from on that. Like, and I guess we could go into the, I mean, I don't think we got enough time to go into the Christian Watson decision. Like, right, that's definitely hindsight. Going down that path. I mean, I've been down that path with, should I have played that week? No, I blew out a knee. Like, I've been down that road. So, like, that's a tough road to go down. But yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, you can't compare Week 18. Like, I get it, but like, I always would go into every game thinking we have a chance to win, even if we were the lower seed going against a better team. Like, I always felt like we had a chance, right? Like, if you go into a playoff game not thinking you belong, well, it's going to show on the field that you don't belong. So, like, if you're a fan, and you know, I guess the way I'm looking at it as a fan now, watching this team, like, do we have a great chance, or do I feel great about it? I don't feel great about it, but I know that this team can play really well. I know they can play really well. I know that they have it in them to put a really good performance together and surprise people. And I think they can do it. They just got to find it. And is it too little too late? Maybe, I don't know, but like I've seen the quarterback play really well. I've seen the running back play really well. I've seen the offensive line play really well. I've seen the defense play really well in moments. I've seen them get turnovers. So like, there's definitely opportunity for them to do that. It's just, I mean, as much as we saw Detroit put on that display last night, I still really like Philly and how they play and what they do, and still like fancy them as favorites in the NFC. So it's going to be a tough task. It just is. But they can do it. It's just, you got to execute way, way better than you have the last few weeks.
Brian, suggested earlier on the show, shout out to Josh DiMaggio, producer of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, said that, you know what? Matt LaFleur, great play caller. He needs a guy who's like a guru, like a play calling, or not play calling, a challenge, situational, timeout, clock management type guru. Basically shadow him or be in his ear so he doesn't have to think about those things. And he hasn't proven that he's necessarily great in those moments. Yesterday being another example. You know Matt LaFleur, and you know what goes into game flow better than any of us. Do you think that he would benefit from something like that, or that's just too much, and regardless, it's on the head coach to make those decisions?
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot that goes into that, right? Like, I mean, I think a lot about this is talking like on offense, right? Like we're talking about when things are going on offense and you're trying to call plays in and out, like, and as a play caller, you're thinking about the next play up. You're not really thinking about timeouts. And there might have been a time with McCarthy as well that we had someone that did that for Mike as well at some point in time. When we were there, that was helping Mike with that as well, because that would happen with Mike when he was calling plays into Aaron, that he would kind of just, I'm not saying that he just completely loses mind about what the clock is, but you're so dialed in of getting plays in and making sure that the quarterback understands what's going on that you lose track. So would it benefit him? I mean, it wouldn't hurt him, but at the end of the day, he's got to be dialed into it, right? Like that's his gig. If he's taking it on, he's got to be able to do it, and he knows that. I mean, that's on the head coach.
Kyle, you got 30 seconds with Brian Balaga.
What happened to Kenny Clark? I mean, because we really need him to show up, right? Like, what is it that you think Kenny needs to do in order to be the guy that we think he can be?
I mean, what do I think he needs to do? I just think he needs to be himself and just elevate his performance. I mean, Kenny's a really good player. Yeah, he just needs to play better, and that's if there's anyone being harder on him than anyone, it's him. So like he knows it, everyone knows it. I mean, he just has to play better, and he could definitely do it in the playoffs. So like I believe in the guy, 100%.
All right.
In 2 minutes, Brian Balaga and Homer. Should be fireworks next.
Southbound 894, dealing with an accident south of Beloit Road, delays stretching all the way back past Oklahoma Avenue. We do still have the issue